Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Shards of Nyrn here on Dork Tales. I'm your Dungeon Master, Kelly. I use he and him as my pronouns, and folks, I'm really happy to be here tonight because we're having a special Friday night game of the Shards of Nyrn. Joining me tonight is this eclectic cast. Let's say hello to them right now, and then do some special announcements, starting with Christine.
Hello, I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I get to play Malia Sunsworn, our Dwarven Tempest Cleric of Vela. I almost said human. I'm not playing Kalara tonight. I'm playing Malia. She's Dwarven.
I could reincarnate you. Get some inches.
No, I'm good being Dwarven, I think.
All right. We'll fix it in post. All right, Amy.
Hi, that's me. Sorry about all of the tech issues. My desktop computer decided it didn't want to be a desktop computer anymore, so I'm running off a laptop that was never meant to be streamed on. So, yeah. Hi. She, her, they, them pronouns, and I am playing Tia Armstrong, the half-orc druid Circle of the Moon.
Fantastic. Down in the corner with Kat.
Hey everyone, I'm Kat. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I am playing Asen Rightwing. She is our half-elf Gloomstalker, sworn of the Carrion Queen. And she has an awesome laser rifle and is super cool, and we like her a lot. And that's me.
Nice. In the middle, I've got Winter.
Hi, that's me. Welcome back, everybody, to our awesome Friday night. We never do this. So I play Mars, the Tiefling Rogue, with just a little dash of Warlock, as a treat. And she's fun. I'm excited to be here.
Nice. And you saw Barbie last night, right?
Oh, I saw Barbie last night.
Was life in plastic fantastic?
It was so good. There were some emotional parts, okay? It was good. I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who was the best Ken?
I liked Alan.
Okay. All right. And last but not least, Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I am playing Fadia Stardust, our astral genasi graviturgy wizard of the group, and I'm super excited. It's Friday, and I am excited for a weekend. There was some sick-ass thunderstorm, and holy shit, the lightning was amazing.
Very, very
right
frightening.
Before, it was very frightening because wildfire season.
Oh, okay. I thought because of Galileo.
No, Galileo too, but wildfire season too. I was also a little concerned, but because I could see the lightning just across the lake, it was touching down. It was like, okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah. So, folks, we have another person that I need to thank, and that is Chester, the Bookwyrm. Thank you so much to our sponsor, continuing forward after, many months. Honestly, we're going to have to get anniversary presents soon. Bookwyrm Games is once again our sponsor, and I have to thank them real quick. Everybody with Bookwyrm Dice, hold them up, please. Because, hey, calling all dice dragons, Bookwyrm Games has 168 or more different types of dice, from acrylic to resin, metal to liquid core, even actual gemstones like the kind I terrorize my players with during Mage the Ascension of the Victorian Age. You can get dice bags to hold your hoard and trays to ensure that you're rolling safely when you're rolling those beautiful gemstones. You can engage all of your senses while gaming with candy dice or themed scented candles. They also have a line of familiars if you're feeling a little lonely around the table and want to spice up your gaming with a friend. Those are coming out very soon, so be sure to check their website. You can also check out their 5-set mystery boxes or even a mystical item monthly subscription with fun prizes every month. The best part about this is not only do you save 10%, that is a 1 and a 0, with code DORKTALES on checkout, all one word. If you spend 100 Canadian, and let me tell you, our dollar's crap right now, so if you live outside of Canada, this is a great deal, you get free shipping. So you definitely want to head to bookwyrmgames.com and use code DORKTALES to save 10%, get that free shipping. And as an additional bonus, if you are on this channel and you make a purchase from Bookwyrm Games of any size, and you spend channel points here, I'll double how many channel point, what you get from those channel points. If you buy a Hurt Them More, you get 2. If you buy 5 Hurt Them Mores, you get 10. If you buy 1 Something Good Happens, you get 10 Hurt Them Mores. It's going to be a great night. Or something like that. I'll figure something out. But I also wanted to let you know that they are still accepting late backers over at Quest Chest. Quest Chest is, of course, their system-agnostic game in a box that is full of wax-sealed letters, metal coins, candles, actual tea, narrated voiceovers, scene-setting music, and even ciphers and puzzles for your players to decode. There are 2 of them on the Bookwyrm website, but the Kickstarter just finished over on Kickstarter for 5 more plus some stretch goals. So go there, be a late backer, get this fantastic way to enjoy gaming with your friends, and it's honestly really, really high quality. I have 2 of them right here. They're absolutely lovely. I wish that we had a way to run them distantly. This is very, very good for around the table play, and I strongly encourage you to go pick one up. If you go pick up one of the 2 at the website, by the way, you can use code DorkTales to save 10%. Wink. Thank you so much to Bookwyrm Games for sponsoring us. Once again, you can visit questchest.info or go to Kickstarter and search Quest Chest. You can probably search Chest Quest, and it'll probably take you there too on Kickstarter, but go to questchest.info for the most info. Thank you to Bookwyrm Games for being our sponsor for yet another month. We look forward to a long and fruitful relationship with you. Mwah. Also, I need to order some more dice, so I hope you continue to love us, because I need more dice to torment my players with. All right, anybody else have any more questions, comments, concerns, anything like that? Oh, everybody, just put your hair up. Let's have some fun. All right, let's hop into the Shards of Nyrn here on Dork Tales. Last time on the Shards of Nyrn, if you all remember, you traveled from the mines that the Amresian emissary had been working in after meeting after discovering those strange humanoid babies that had been encased in that mineral deposit. From there, you had just made your way across the tram, or were in the process of making your way across the tram system, when an earthquake struck. With some quick thinking, you were able to survive and made it back to the palace just in time to get put in wardrobe for the new film the new Maximilian's Eye production, Revenge of the Goblin Queen. After doing that for a while, being covered in all manner of ichor, blood, fake and imagined, as well as real and not real zombie parts, you did a nice day of filming, and in the middle of this tremendously awkward B-movie scene, you were interrupted by the arrival of several of the dignitaries that you hoped to sway to your side, who looked on at the scene with a bit of gape at what had happened. And with that, I'm curious what everybody is planning to do. You're in the middle of this. Mars, you're covered with blood. Asen, you've got your fake guts sticking out everywhere. Tia, I think, is also covered in blood.
No, at the very end, Tia was completely drenched in blood and like a whole person worth of blood, but had immediately turned into a bat and fled. So with the hope that nobody recognized her, and is going to go do a quick change and come back and try and bluff her way through this. That is the intent.
I believe that Asen was also naked.
You basically were naked, yeah.
I think Fadia also got a bunch of the. I think Tia and Fadia were doing something, and I think we both failed dramatically. And I think Fadia's also covered in blood, but I was looking through my spells to find prestidigitation, and that's cantrips. That's fun. So Fadia's just covered in blood.
Okay. All right. So with that, Maximilian strides into the center of the scene and looks around and goes, "All right, that's probably fine. That will be a wrap for the day. We'll do the rest in post. Oh, and by the way, please, accept..." What is that squeaking noise?
That's outside my door. Sorry, that's a car.
Okay, I thought it was bats.
I thought you were playing a bat soundtrack.
I thought I was
Kelly.
too. I said that. I'm like, do I have bats playing?
Someone's tired.
Hey, bats!
Bats.
Hey, how's it going, bats?
Bat form. Human form.
Bat. Higher form. All right. Well, that was that was a thing. I'm leaving that in. I'm not editing that out. That can stay. That was weird.
Amy and her bats.
Well, because it didn't start saying until Amy said bat, and then it was like squeak, squeak, and I'm like,
Yeah, right?
I thought Amy pulled out a
Oddly
sound
fitting.
clue on her phone or something, and I'm like, what? Okay, so Maximilian strides over and says, all right, that's enough for the day. In the meanwhile, here, sign this release form
Wait,
and
you
receive
guys
your
seen that
payment.
first? Oh, payment. Yep.
Oh, what is payment?
5 platinum coins.
Only?
Okay.
Ooh.
What, do you want residuals? We don't do residuals.
I mean, 5 platinum just seems a little low for someone of your caliber.
Yes, but it's not low for someone of your caliber.
Oh.
Lady Mars, 10 for you, of course.
Thank you. Writes that down.
All right, do you sign the release form? A little gnomish scribe will walk over and be like, sign here, please.
I'll glance at it. I'll read it over.
Yeah,
Okay.
what does the release form go over?
Can you make me a wisdom and deception roll?
Wisdom and deception.
So use wisdom in place of charisma on your deception.
Okay, let me see.
Deception.
As a spell.
You know what? What am I?
Can
What
I
am I even?
cast- Can I cast comprehend languages to understand lawyer speak?
I'll allow it.
I got a 25 on that one, by the way.
Did you? You know, I think an insight roll also could have worked, but I like deception. I like wisdom deception.
I think
Wisdom,
that works for
deception.
film industry.
I think either
Yeah.
works. All right, so Fadia, you may make the roll with advantage.
Okay. Wisdom deception. Do I have? I do not have proficiency. in
I
deception.
rolled a 19, but I just add 1 to it, so it's dirty 20.
Okay, so 20.
18. Oh,
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah, with
Natural
advantage.
20 for Fadia.
Okay, so looking through this, it guarantees likeness rights that can be reproduced using phantasmal imagery in
No.
perpetuity. No, and merchandising rights.
Don't sign this yet, guys.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely. Kid me, this is not a good contract here.
No.
We already turned down one thing like this, and they were offering significantly more money.
Fine, 6 platinum.
They offered 10,000 gold, and we turned it down
7
each.
7 platinum.
each. Maximilian pulls on his goatee. Listen, if you don't want to be here all day filming this, you're going to have to sign a release that allows my arcane intelligence unit to do a bit of the filler work. You know, all of the shots that you don't want to be in.
Or you could just pay your staff properly.
I
It's-
pay my arcano-graphic specialists. In the distance, you can see that there are like some work tables that have been set up with like glowing screens in front of them and what you assumed were zombies. But now looking at them, you see they are gray-skinned humanoids, mostly humans, gnomes, and halflings that are just looking at the screens. And they look so drained and emaciated. Their skins is so taut. They look like they haven't been hydrated in forever.
Fada's gonna cast Earthbind on Maximilian.
Okay. Earthbind. Does that do damage?
Strength saving throw. It doesn't do damage, but it will bring your speed to 0 for a minute while I'm concentrating on it.
Okay. Is that a dex save or a strength save?
A strength.
Okay, I rolled a 12, which means that's a 10.
Nope, not gonna beat my what is it now? 17?
Yeah, Maximilian works out. Maximilian makes Ron Howard look like the Hulk.
So like golden energy is just gonna like pop out of the earth and just wrap around him and bring him down to the ground.
Ah!
I think we're gonna have to write some new contracts, especially for your workers.
I think so. This is just, yeah. I've heard so much about you, and I figured that working with Maximilian's gonna be so fantastic. Really?
Really? I heard the opposite about dealing with the right wing.
My family runs an entire city. Of course they're assholes.
Obviously, they're
Like,
talking about the
duh,
right
they're
wing. You have
nobles.
the right
Of course they
wing.
suck.
Actually, if I understand, that's just your sister.
Oh, obviously. I mean, she's always. We don't shame here.
I meant that she's a vampire.
She does. She is.
She does a vampire, or she is a vampire?
Both, probably. Again, we don't judge. But either
That
way,
explains why she turned down the role.
I mean, she also has a high sense of self-worth, so.
Fine then. Let me out of this cockamamie clavence of energy. He struggles against the earthbind.
We're gonna talk about how you run things here, right?
And
Not without
and-
my lawyer.
May-
He calls.
and
Kelly, can I
we-
cut in? Are the people, like the dignitaries, still here? Just
Yes,
watching?
they're watching this whole thing.
I'll be like
oh boy.
putting on a robe, like the background kind of robe people, and then be like, so sorry for this, you guys. We will be with you shortly. Have you walked around the gardens yet? Or like try to distract them.
All right, so the people that were there before, let's see. So it was the Genasi, the Goliath, the Sprigant, and the who was the last one? Oh, the woman in
woman in silks.
Okay, I am going to roll to find out their union sympathies. One moment, please. The higher the roll, the more union sympathy. Whoa. Well, Sikra is not pro you. Oh my god, you're evil. Okay.
no!
Someone
that-
rolling out one.
Yep. All right. One moment, please, while I pull something out. I had to actually go and grab a book because of you guys, so thank you.
Hey, we like to make you look through books.
Right? It's
Yeah.
great. It's great. Is this the right book? Monsters of the Multiverse? Yes, it is. Okay. Where is it? Here we go. All right. So you are going to hear, "Not without my lawyer!" And you are going to hear boom as a lightning bolt strikes the ground right next to Maximilian, and through this like fucking red sky beam that sails up into the heavens, you're going to see this massive shape step forward, this furred boot. A second furred boot strikes the ground. You are going to see these massive shield-sized pecs. One moment, just going to roll to see if his lawyer is male or female real quick.
Are these the
The lawyer barbarians?
lawyer
All right.
barbarians?
So
I
there's
get
going
to meet them. Yes.
And you are going to see these massive pectorals push through the side of this layer of skybeam. I need the right music for this. One sec.
Can you
can we
each
call
pack
our
push
lawyer?
half of it and do pump pump?
I actually have some Brahms. If you want some Brahms, I can get some Brahms.
I was thinking of the the SVU bomb bomb.
Oh man. Do I have Brahms? I thought I had. Hold on, it's important. Is it Evil Arrives, Villain? What the hell's the name of the song? Bad? Wow, I'm really not pulling anything up here. I'll search Bra and see if that Braving the Cold. Oh, Death Brahms. Here we go. I knew I had a Bram in here. Okay, here we go. Boom. The Bram. There's like, sorry, I love that I have Brams available. It's my favorite.
That's great.
So coming out, you're going to see these giant pecs push through the lightning with this X-shaped steel chest piece that has a gavel crossed with another gavel with a skull on top of it as the center cross piece. And as this huge figure leans forward, you're going to see this perfectly chiseled cleft chin, this jaw that looks like, honestly, probably belongs more on a horse than any type of man. This man is nearly 7 feet tall, a perfectly manicured, perfectly trimmed, I should say, platinum blonde bowl cut. And little itty bitty glasses on the tip of his nose. In one hand, a double-bladed labrys, a battle axe the size of a halfling, and in the other, a designer briefcase. You rang? Who calls me here? He says
Is
in
that
a very...
Gilly?
I am Lawyer, man of
You're using
law.
a briefcase. Is that
Yeah,
Gilly?
One moment, please. Let me roll a will save to not talk about, or wisdom save not to talk about my briefcase. Of course it's Gilly, and this is a Trollex. He points to his sundial.
Oh my god.
His name is Lawyer, with a hyphen,
How do
okay?
you spell it? How do you spell it?
Law-YAR.
God.
Okay.
Lawyer. And I'm writing Trollex down because
Lawyer.
that's the best joke I've made.
Trollex is great.
Trollex is awesome.
He
Can
steps
we
out.
call our lawyer Kelly?
How would you call your lawyer?
Oh, you know what? I guess we can't.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us have sending that.
No, I
Work
don't.
for
I
this.
don't. think we
Fadia
do,
has
actually.
sending, but she's never met your lawyer, so.
There's a problem.
Lawyer takes a look at this scene, looks at the earthbind. Objection! And casts Dispel Magic.
It's a second level spell, so yeah.
Yeah. He opens his briefcase and golden papers go wrap around and shatter your spell.
My god.
Love it.
It's amazing.
Why have I been summoned here? They're trying to do contract negotiations. Is that so? Fine then. Who dares challenge me, Lawyer? And the Maximilian Corporation. Millimax.
Nothing ventured.
Yeah. We just want to get paid fairly. That's all.
And your workers.
Yes. And the workers.
There's only one thing that can be done here. I cast Bubble of Isolation! He opens his briefcase and suddenly, boom, a bubble will surround you all. And then it'll just get really quiet for everybody outside the bubble. And Mars, you have gone up to talk to the dignitaries, right? Or is
So
that
I'm
Tia?
not. Yeah, no, that was me. Am I not in the bubble?
You're not in the bubble. You're not in the bubble.
Oh, yay.
So
Okay.
who are you? So you go up and talk to them, and as you are, who are you talking to out of them? So there are 4 of them. Are you just trying to get like a general sense? Are you talking to
I'm
one of them
appro-
individually?
I'm approaching them as a group, but who's the most receptive to talk to? And as that's happening, like I'd probably like ask for like a face cloth, and I'm like wiping off the makeup and stuff.
So as you are doing that, as you're wiping off your face cloth, you're seeing that, once again, to describe them, there is a tall mommy Goliath, like business mommy, standing
mommy.
just under 7.5 feet tall, skin the color of chiseled marble, streaked with bits of gray and black, what look like tattoos, but look like they're actually potentially birthmarks. You are going to see, like, with a very high collared fur business suit, you are going to see that there's a woman decked in silk upon silk upon silk, flowing robes, kind of like a Castilian type of complexion you see beneath her mask. There is a glowing green genasi who looks like he rolled out of a canister of toxic ooze. Just that he's glowing like a toxic crusader. And then there is a very tall tree person who is standing just under 7 feet tall. And you know what? I'm going to roll because I just designed this race and I wonder what they are. So we're going to go with Flowering, Oakheart, and then Thorn Mantle in that order. Okay. So this is a tall tree person who basically looks almost like a dryad, the way that, like, you can see that there's almost like a fleshy look to much of them, but they have vines wrapping around and kind of protruding out where veins would be, kind of just coating around them, a mantle of flowers around their throat and the back of their head, their hair just these long draping vines and flowering roots.
Cool.
And
okay.
as you approach, there is this just powerful scent of fragrant flowers, like lilies, around this person.
Aww. Okay. Can I pick out from the group someone who seems to be like, if they had a hierarchy amongst themselves, who would be the one in the back?
Well, why don't you go ahead and make me an insight roll to see if you can
Yeah.
do a vibe check.
Vibe check. 17.
Cool. 17's actually pretty good. You can tell that the Goliath is standing separate from everybody else. It seems that the woman in the silks and the genasi both kind of want to give her some space. And
Give the Goliath person some space.
yes. Oh, also, I did say there was one person in a plague mask, didn't I? There was a fifth person there. Okay. And everybody is giving the plague mask space. So this is just an individual dressed in like skin-tight black fabric with a long plague mask that has like this canister of green mist beneath it. It is constantly just going...
Oh boy. Okay. Kelly, you know me too well. I'm gonna walk up to the plague mask character and be like, could I interest you in a drink or anything? I'm gonna make friends with them.
Okay, so they're from XLR, obviously. So are we playing XLR as having a French accent? I think we are.
Oh, that would be quite lovely. I would like that quite a lot.
I didn't go with French after all.
No, that's fine. Oh, would you like to join me for a drink while
Oh,
my friends discuss?
so hospitable. Thank you. What is your name, beautiful woman?
I am Mars.
I'm Oaxon. Nice to meet
Nice.
you.
Nice to meet you too. Please, everybody, come
With an
me.
apostrophe.
And let's get something to drink. You must be famished.
Oh, I would really love to wet my beak, so to speak. This
And
isn't
I'll look
real.
over at the group in the bubble, be like, guys, hurry.
Meanwhile, smash cut to inside that. The bubble is full of the sound of various typewriters and shuffling papers. So, speaking of which, so here is the deal. To sign over your rights for the remainder of this film, Loyar says. For the remainder of this film, we can do 50 platinum coins each. Rights extending only to the end of this Maximilian presentation. That's 500 gold each. With 750 returning to Ms. Mars as a seasoned actress. That also includes 500 per assistant that worked on the production, meaning one Miss Malia Sunsworn, Miss Tia Armstrong, and Ms.
Stardust.
Stardust, yes. For a total of and of course to Mr. Warforger, or Warforge. Is it Warforge or Warforger?
It's Warforge.
Warforge. Can someone get that, please? You find yourself in like a pocket plane, the demi-plane of law.
My God.
So like looking around, you can
terrifying.
see like this hazy, like looking out of the bubble, you can see reality, but you can also see a second overlapped reality of a bunch of like Modrons and little like cube people walking around shuffling paperwork. Just one moment, please, Loyar says, and opens up a door in the bubble. Can I get someone to file some paperwork here? I could use, bring me my notary stamp. Shuts the bubble. All right.
Yes. So use is only for the rest of this film, not in perpetuity.
And in
Residuals.
conclusion, residuals off production will be fixed at 2%.
Sounds fair. Can I make an insight roll if that's fair?
What I want, yeah, go ahead.
I am also making that roll because Asen likes money.
Okay.
Ooh, and that's an insight?
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's a
an
dirty
insight.
20 from me.
Dirty
It's a
20?
15.
Okay. You're not sure if it's fair, but you're sure it's the best you're gonna get. You have been negotiating for 2.5 hours at this point.
Mars is very drunk now.
It's only been 5 minutes outside, but Mars is very drunk.
She's always very drunk.
She's always very
Okay,
drunk.
so we've been negotiating
Sounds
for 2.5 hours.
There's a time dilation
And-
bubble.
Malia's
And
probably arrived back with her drink and her like popcorn and went, wait, what happened? Where are they?
I think Tia probably had, like, met up with Malia on the way back out,
Wait, is it
fully
just
clean.
Is it just
It's just
Fadia and
Fadia.
Ace?
It's just you and Fadia, Loyar, and Maximilian sitting at a table inside of a bubble of non-reality in the middle of this courtyard covered in blood and zombies.
Oh my God, this
Yep.
is amazing.
Arguing for our rights, and Fadia wants to argue for the workers, but I feel like that's not getting much.
That is non-negotiable. As part of your payment, Loyar says, you shall not mention the following words around the crew: union, unionize, workers' rights, fair, equitable.
But what if I'm talking about paying for a ferry ride? I pay the fare of the ferry.
Did I say fairy?
No, I said fare
Obviously,
for the ferry.
the contract will know what you are determining. Fair share, we will amend this to then. Fair share, fair shake, or other such pro-union sentiments. One moment
And
while
so
I
you said
confirm
it
with
was
my
2% for residuals?
2% for residuals.
I vote that Malia and Tia are busy in the background, like already talking about unions without anybody knowing about it because they just happened to come up in conversation.
Probably.
So we're gonna smash cut to outside where you guys are talking about unionizing to a bunch of zombies that are just
Oh my
sitting there
God.
like,
Oh yeah, it's a concept out of where was it? Wasn't it like Fendelver or something? No, that's the wrong name. Yeah,
Vandalia?
yeah, that's the right
one of the
one.
zombies goes, "You mean Vandalia?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vandalia. It's
I'm from Vandalia."
oh.
So you should know all about it then.
No. I lost most of my brain.
Oh. I didn't want to point that out. It seemed
Is it obvious? The zombie touches the side of its head. It's caved in.
No, it's just
There
it
was a
seemed like a fashion
zealous
statement.
There was a zealous paladin. She was a real piece of work, always shouting about vengeance this and vengeance that. I cursed the day I came across Shasta Cola. Cola?
I
Coda?
have never heard of them. They sound terrifying.
Kind of a jerk, really. I don't know, the other zombie will say. I heard she was a single mom. Like, that can't be easy. Like, I was raised by a single mother. It wasn't very good for me. Look at me, I ended up being a zombie, You try your best and, sometimes it just don't take. Yeah, but still, I don't think that being reductionist about someone's socioeconomic situation should forgive things like blatant zombicide. Well, yeah, be that as it may. They continue having a political conversation.
Yeah, man, I don't know if I can
Planted the
have
seed.
much to input into this one, but I'm really sorry it went through that.
Hey, thanks. There's a difference between sympathy and empathy, and both are really, really appreciated for zombies. We don't really get either. We usually get antipathy.
Ah,
It's antipathy.
Is that- so how
My language center wasn't affected.
well, that's good. No, I just was wondering how you all got involved in this. Like, I didn't know
Oh,
that
well,
zombies.
We're rentals.
Rentals?
Yeah.
You mean
We're-
rentals.
We're undead slaves. Well, I mean, technically. Sorry, we don't use that word. We're thralls. We're undead thralls.
Oh, that's not better.
I mean, we sold ourselves into thrallitude. I mean, it's a living. Sorry, little joke.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes my eye again. Pops it back in.
Do they have a
Yeah.
special garrison holding area that is their fortress of thrallitude?
Get back in your bubble.
That was funny.
No, but they do have like a little cage.
and that's your dressing carriage?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the cage that we go back to when we shut down for the night.
What doesn't have a roof? What's protecting you from the elements?
Dark magic.
Doesn't it get kind of expensive to maintain?
No, I mean, like, like what's the worst that could happen? I'm gonna die.
I honestly don't know what.
Look, we signed a
This is
contract
weird.
with Cresius the Undying, and so we got shipped out of Sargassio when Mr. Maxi Pad over there needed some people.
Right. And
It was either this or go into the army, and to be honest, I got flat feet. See? He holds up his foot, and it is kind of molten. Like it's kind of like like molded, flattened, rotted.
Yeah, I can see that. That would be difficult to maintain. And you didn't get a lawyer when you signed those contracts to review them?
Oh boy, you think that you can just go to like you know? Look, I was dying of arcanicer, right? It's magic cancer, arcanicer.
Ah,
Makes sense.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's-
so I was working at a magic rendering plant, and they were really lax on safety regulations, you know? So, you know, that ambient magical radiation kind of gets to you after a while. So I was looking for a cure. But you know what? There aren't very many clerics who will heal that type of thing. You know, it's a greater restoration. And who's got money for that?
It is expensive.
Right?
yeah.
However, like, you know, this way I get to live forever. And at the end of my term, all I have to do is serve 1,000 years as a zombie or skeleton eventually. Because let's be fair, if I stay in this cage, it's going to rot off. 1,000 years, then I get a resurrection spell. Boom. Biggity bobbity. Plus, I have a little savings account. You know, I make definitely sub minimum wage. But, you know, all of my savings from my life and you know, anything I'm able to put away, you know, I make 1 silver coin a month, which goes into saving. Well, yeah, but with compound interest over 1,000
years.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
it's good.
I guess.
You know, I'm locked in at prime plus 2%. So, you know, as long as the market
Was
don't
it
crash.
always a silver a month? Like, how long is it going to be a silver? What about inflation?
How about what now? And we're gonna smash cut back inside the bubble. Where all right, so and yes, we will also match wardrobe cleaning expenses
Good.
for yourselves. Are we in agreement?
Throw in a 50 silver gift card for Skyfire coffee, and we're good.
Each.
Each.
Make me a persuasion roll.
Okay.
Can I assist with this?
Yes. Yes, okay. Holy shit, that is hilarious. I dropped my dice, it jumped across into the holding spot for my dice as
Oh my
a nat
gosh.
20.
Oh no.
Like, look, you can see the Dorktails insignia face up right there on the blue one.
That's so funny.
That's funny.
Good persuasion? I got a
Persuasion, eh?
16.
Okay.
So I don't think we're gonna beat the nat 20.
No, because I rolled a 16 plus 2 is an 18.
You can have a single Skyfire gift certificate worth 50 coins. 50 gold coins is more than sufficient for all of your coffee needs.
Yeah,
Deal.
yeah, let's take it.
Shake it.
Shake it real good.
He holds out a hand the size of a catcher's mitt. Shake, shake.
Fadia will
shake.
cast Mage Hand to shake it.
Sounds good. And then he will reach in, pull out a giant wineskin from his barbarian loincloth, and will go and squirt it into his hand and start rubbing.
Question, does Mage Hand count as my hand or not?
For purposes of this, yeah.
Okay, cool.
You shook hands with Loriar, so that's gonna
We
count.
are.
Okay.
Cool. Just was wondering. Just wondering, because I was like, that's kind of sneaky.
He's gonna hit a bell on his desk, ding, and a little door is going to open from the plane of law, and a girl is going to walk in holding like a notary set, and she's very pretty, but you can see like seams on her face and arms. She's dressed in this this long kind of pleated skirt with like these glowing wings extending off of her back. She has long purple hair and like little marks on her cheeks, and she's going to walk in and go, "Your notary set." He looks it over, stamps your things. "Thank you, Cheshire. File this, please." "Of course." And the glitchling girl that just walked in heads back to the plane of law to file that.
How did she end up there?
It's a prequel, bitch.
Ah!
She came from the plane of law, damn it. She used to be an intern.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, good point. Oh my god, that... Yay.
With our business concluded, I hold you
How long
accountable
were
by
we
the laws of the Chubari tribes people. Go well and with the law, and the bubble will pop. With a huge and triumphant and suddenly you will find yourselves just sitting, like actually kind of standing around the center bit of the courtyard.
Sorry that took so long.
It literally took 7 minutes.
Oh, that was so much effort.
Oh,
That
I want both of you to make me a wisdom save to not take levels of exhaustion.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm a
Nat 20,
Okay.
and I have an 8 in wisdom, so 28 off a nat 20.
That's a 15. I'm gonna spend my determination to bring that to an 18.
Okay, neither of you will take exhaustion from that negotiation.
Oh, that was a lot of work. But
I'm guessing that didn't count as a short rest. Or
No.
we weren't resting.
that
No.
was so much effort.
Have you ever been in a contract negotiation? No.
No,
Jesus.
I've not.
It's like a job
Oh,
interview with everybody hating each other.
We
Oh, lovely.
managed to get better pay.
Yeah, 500 gold plus a $50,
Plus a 50 gold
50 gold.
Skyfire coffee gift card.
I said 50 silver each, and he gave us 50 gold, so we won.
Yeah.
that's
Oh, you did say silver, didn't you?
great.
Yep. I wasn't gonna
But
say
we-
anything.
We shook on 50 gold, so
Yeah.
I'm spending a hurt them more to take that back.
we
Aw.
shook on it.
Well, that was
on
it was a DM error, and I had to hurt them more. So suck.
Fine.
All right. Each of you is going to hear ka-ching, 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 ka-ching as a little purse appears on your belt. Mars, and we're going to cut over to Mars actually.
Hi.
So what are you off doing?
So, I'm just entertaining them while I wait for them to come by, but probably because you said it only took 7 minutes.
Yeah. So you just popped open the drink.
Yeah.
Gluk, 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 gluk.
And I'm asking them, like, how were their travels? Like, just being a good hostess until
Sure.
Sultana, what's his face, the vizier, or anybody else shows up. I'm just being like, I will entertain you.
All right. So make me a persuasion roll to see how well you're entertaining them.
Okay. Let me just double check what my persuasion is. Here we go. Okay. Persuasion. Ooh, it's a good charisma. And on the 13, that's not so bad. So it bumps it up again to a 17.
17? All right, you're doing a pretty good job of it. You can see that there's a bit of tension between a couple of these guests here. But you're going to get their names pretty well. The Goliath is named Sikra.
Sikra.
She is the emissary from Ustral. Then the emissary from Alazar is the woman in silks, Nazili. Nazili Isbili.
Nazili. Okay.
Quick question, Kelly. You
Quick.
spelt is it Sikira or
Oh, it's Sikra. It's Sikra.
Sikra? Okay.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
typed
it's
her
like
up.
after this, if we can get just like a rundown of pronunciations, names, writings, and then yeah.
Okay, Nazili is Billy of Alazar. Then there is Janice. Then there is Kamagio, or Kamagilo, of... They're from Sirain, right? Or Sirane? Just double checking that. Yes. And then the last one is... There we go. So those are the... And, Thekra is Ustral, not Ustalar. Ustalar is Pathfinder. All right. So you're doing a pretty good job of that. They're all giving the one from XLR quite a bit of space. And as you are kind of sitting there, you're watching him breathe out of this like dome of miasma. That's kind of like a reservoir beneath his beak, and he's...
So, you know, I have to admit, I saw you in one of his earlier works. That Maximilian fellow.
Yes, that's right.
How did you enjoy being an actress?
It's fine. It's not what I prefer to be doing, of course.
Really?
But you know what? Sometimes you've got to take a little bit of a leap of faith every once in a while and just do something different. It keeps everything else in your life interesting.
Fair. I know what you mean. I mean, I do a lot of traveling usually, being a ferryman as I am. But, honestly, I'd like to get out and see more of the world.
Yeah, I think you should do that for sure.
Yeah,
it's called enrichment.
Well, if you're ever interested in seeing the lovely countryside, Exelar is a wonderful place to go if you've had your shots.
You know what? I'll do anything once.
That's
Wink.
what they'll say. Oh.
He'll kind of look a little embarrassed. The chibi version of him is going to have like the blushy hatch marks on the side of the beak.
Tee.
All right. So the Goliath is going to lean in. And she's going to take a deep breath that you swear is about to pop one of the breast buttons on her suit. As she inflates like a bird when she breathes in. Like just...
The big puff up.
The big puffy boobs, yeah. Yes, quite. So, you're some type of actress?
No, actually, I prefer to travel with my adventuring guild. This was just a little fun side quest, if you may say.
Oh, yes, side quests. I've been on my share of those. Are you the reason that we've been called here? You're one of nothing ventured?
That's right. Yes.
And you need assistance from our various regions? She gestures to all of the rest.
Yes. Yes, we should wait for my other party members to come back, but...
And where would they happen to be right now?
It looked like negotiating.
Oh. Another side quest.
Yes. We're trying to help with a war right now. And
I see. And you're looking to make it our war as well.
If there's anything that you could help with, yes. It could affect you and your regions.
I see. I have to say that in spite of my tribe's quest for ever-growing valor, I see no immediate reason to assist with Orkeshian internal squabbles.
Fair enough. I will leave you to that opinion. I have hopefully some more. I'm trying to think of the word, sorry, out of character, of like how to describe, like, I'm sure if we talk a little bit more, we may be able to persuade you, and perhaps there's something that you need in return. But I also understand that sometimes you just don't have anything that you can give, and that's okay.
Make me a persuasion or deception roll.
Play on her pride. Very good, Mars. Very good.
Thank you. Persuasion or what?
Persuasion or deception.
Deception, I'm going to be adding a good old 10 to, so let's see if I get a good number. Come on. 23.
20? Damn, okay, let's see if she
Yeah, I
catches
rolled
on.
a 13 and I added 10.
Getting real sick of that 3. She gets a little flushed for a moment. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say... The Genasi is going to lean in, pour a drink for himself. As he does, there's going to be like this sizzle as his finger makes contact with a bit of the liquid, and it's going to kind of burn away. And I have to ask a really important question. Does the Mana Waste Genasi sound like an Australian or Oppenheimer?
Australian. Definitely
Australian.
But
Absolutely.
but the drow are down under and already sound Australian.
This is true.
Ylos.
This is true. This is true.
I don't
drow
have any
sound-
Oppenheimers.
The drow speak Australian, yeah, because they're from down under.
And,
Remember
and the
the Drider?
Driders and yeah.
Yeah, Bruce. How could you forget Bruce? Bruce the Drider?
Drider taxi?
Fucking hell, mate.
During the bondage festival.
The spider centaur,
It
essentially.
was only 4 years ago,
Put us
Kat.
down.
Oh,
my
well.
God.
How do you forget your first bondage festival? I know it was your first bondage festival.
Snack your
Not your last, but your first.
And the first bondage festival involving fungus zombies. Come on.
That's
Yeah, but
true.
not not your
And
last.
rideable spiders, people.
But not your last. It's been busy. All right,
You're not
so
busy enough.
not busy enough. All right, so what would a Mana Waste Genasi sound like?
I mean, if you want to go Oppenheimer, that definitely makes sense.
Should I just?
I-
He sounds like Oppenheimer.
Or kind
No.
of Russian because they're radiation.
See,
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
a little-
imagining-
Yeah, it's
I
a
know.
little. It'd be more
Alright.
Ukrainian if we're being honest, given the
Oh,
location
fair.
of Chernobyl. But yeah,
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not good at. I'm not.
I could do
personally, I'm
New
not
York
good
if it
at
was 3 Mile
Russian
Island.
accents.
But yeah, or
Oh my
Jersey.
God.
But
See, I'm just imagining like Mad Max world. So.
oh, okay, yeah, that type of. Yeah, okay, got it. He leans in, pours himself a drink. It'll fizzle when it touches a little bit of his green skin. I'm just wondering how it's going to affect us.
Yes, tell me a little bit about your country. How,
Ganasa.
yeah.
Right, well, it's just us going around the wastes, yeah? It's just
So-
us, our tribes, eh? You know, the ones that survived the fall, we managed to eke out a bit for ourselves.
What are the populations like?
It depends. The Genasi, the Earth Genasi do pretty well there. You know? They do alright. They survive. Some of the more specialized ones like myself, we maybe 100 of us, maybe less.
I'm so sorry. You see, what I hope from having the result of this war, if we can join our forces together, is that we can turn that word survive into thrive.
You're a right pretty bird, ain't you?
I try.
So thrive, eh? Well,
Thriving is better than just surviving.
look, we ain't got much in numbers, but I don't want you to think that we's down and out, alright? Us Genasi, we've done well for ourselves. We've conquered the sand whales, purple worms, things like that. Modes of transit that aren't really for most people. Although I'm not sure how the topography of Orkesh would handle it.
That is true. That is true. It'd be
much for
definitely
them
a
to
strain.
Yeah, not much for them to swim through, although the purple worms can swim through just about any fucking thing.
Oh.
There's no reason to use profanity. You'll hear come from the woman in the silks. There will be plenty of time to discuss this later.
Of course. How long do you expect to be visiting here for before you have to go back?
There will be a creaking noise from across the table as the tree person leans forward, and in an incredibly flat, neutral voice, somewhere between like an alto and a tenor, like just that kind of, I forget the actual strain, but like that perfectly neutral agender tone. We'll say, we're here for the ball tomorrow. After it, we'll be heading back home.
I am so looking forward to a ball, especially after looking like this. Oh boy, it should be a nice night.
I agree. It should be quite enjoyable. I look forward to spending a bit of time dancing. Are you a dancer, Ms. Mars?
I've danced a little bit, but I'm not often. She'll point to her horns when that gets asked to dance.
You should come to Sirene.
What can you tell me about there?
We're one of the merchant capitals of all of Archony. So long as you have coin, and so long as you have something to offer, no one cares about what you look like there. We also border on one of the great forests of Balam, where my people thrive. Have you seen us before?
I can't say that I have, but I think you are so incredible.
I think seeing a Nyrnite in this day and age is also incredible. Both of us are somewhat endangered outside of our homelands, I feel.
Yeah. You're not wrong there.
Well, bottoms up, everyone. Drain your cups.
And he'll pull, like, Oxon will pop a little hole in the side of his mask and pump a straw in and go...
Excellent. Ooh, it's got a bit of a bite.
And with that, the rest of your party will be done at their negotiation, and we'll see you sitting around this semicircle at the pleasure table up above everyone.
Ah, here they are.
Whew. Oh, sorry we took so long.
You were only mere minutes.
Oh my god, it was hours that we were negotiating in there.
I'm sure it felt like hours.
Oh, are we drinks? I can.
Yes, are you thirsty?
Oh, it's just very.
So I'll pour some for Fadia.
Okay.
Oh, Fade's
A
gonna
nice, it's a nice, like, full-bodied red.
Yeah, Fade's gonna like take a deep sip of that.
I'll be like, as well, to the others.
Yeah,
More
I'll
alcohol.
take some. Thanks.
She'll finish her drink and hold out.
Yeah, it's like, yes, yes, here you go, girl.
You'll hear
Yes.
some.
Take
You'll hear some
drink.
footfalls nearby, and Cadamus will wander over. Hey, I don't want to alarm anybody, but I think those might be actual skeletons.
Hmm?
Wait, you didn't know?
The undead are all actual undead.
I'm pretty
They're
sure they're all like Crease
Rentals.
I'm going in. I'm going inside. I'm gonna take a walk.
You know about Crazius?
Are you okay, Cannabis?
I'm not a fan of the undead. I mean, no offense if anybody here's dead. I don't know about you, Birdman.
I'm not exactly a bird, but I can see the confusion.
I'm gonna go wash the gore off of me. I got some of that one splattered on me. Hey, can I get my eye back? I'll catch up with you in a bit. I'm gonna take a nice long bath, I think.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Well, it's
So,
been lovely to meet all of you. I suppose we haven't, though. Well, I am Oaxon, ferryman and purveyor of knowledge into the holy lands of Exelar, blessed by the god Zonos himself, with the transport of those seeking the greatest, well, the greatest cure.
Did that happen after Fadia?
Yeah.
Fadia's time? Cat.
Yeah.
What? What happened?
Can I try to remember anything I know about Zonos and
Sure, make me a religion roll.
same.
$16?
16, Zonos, god of plagues. Illness, fever dreams, and prophecy.
I'm sure
I-
his blessings are interesting.
Yes, and inside there is a super panacea inside. Sorry, this drink's getting a little to my head. Yes, of course. And of course within the bounds of Exelar is the greatest panacea of all.
And anyone can come into your country to get it?
No, but that's why we ferrymen exist. For just a couple of coins, I'm happy to ferry you in.
And do you ferry them out again?
Why would you ever want to leave? Immortality and health await you inside.
There it is.
Yep, alright.
You're not allowed to leave.
I can't stay in one place. I need to travel, so I don't
Mhm.
personally understand the appeal. But I'm sure that that is perfect for many people.
And sorry, I'm a bit Then XLR is
North.
close to here? North. Yes, right. Sorry. It's been a while since I've been out.
To the north of here, the Silk Woman says. To the north of here directly is the land of Alizar, my homeland, which borders on Exlar and Ustral. As she says that, she gestures to the plague man, and to the Goliath.
So, forgive me for maybe Mars dealt with the pleasantries first, but I do believe you're brought here on
A diplomatic errand to meet with you and discuss whether or not we are willing to die for you.
I wouldn't say it's for us. There is a power-hungry dictator coming this way.
The woman in the silks looks at you over her veil. Answer me one thing, Fadia Stardust. Does he bleed?
I don't think that's been verified. Tia's leaning over to Fadia to say that I don't know if we can confirm that one.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't actually met him. We've just heard he's powerful and has the mantle of a god, potentially.
Or something.
Something. But I would say, did we see if... Did Dempsey's get hurt in the fight at all?
Yeah,
So he bled, and he's a demigod, or like minor god, right?
he's a minor god. Yeah, he got gory.
Yeah. I've seen minor gods bleed, so I would imagine that a fake wearer would also bleed.
Oh, there it is, the tree person says. Now you have her interest. You have to watch out for that one. She's dangerous where blood's concerned. Quiet. I don't need your criticism, Sprig. And I don't need your lip, fleshling.
Is there...
You'll
previous
find none
histories?
of your cherished ichor in my roots.
Does that make it seem like potentially... Does that say anything about her potentially then? That might hint at...
She apparently has some fixation with blood.
Okay.
She's in direct sunlight.
Okay, she is.
She's in direct sunlight. She is wearing like full silks with a full veil over the lower half of her face.
All right, Mally's just gonna file that clue away for a moment, mentally.
Well, it's good to see another Genasi out here.
Yes.
I'm Gannis. Janice March. Nice to meet you.
Fadia Stardust. Nice to meet you as well.
They got us named good and proper, don't they? You're all twinkly. And I manage the march along the singing wastes. Me and my family.
What? What type of Genasi does he look like to Fadia? Does she recognize him?
Honestly, he looks like a cross between like a water and an air Genasi to you.
Okay.
But go ahead and make me an Arcana roll.
Okay. Arcana, you say?
I do,
Oh
I do.
my goodness. Oh, that would have been great if I didn't roll like dog. That's going to be only a 15.
A 15? There's something kind of off about his energy, though. As you look at him, you can see that there's like... He's like glowing. Like, it kind of
Yeah.
reminds you of your own stuff, but you have seen spells that give off radiant and necrotic energy, and it appears that he is, like, just pulsing with the stuff. Like, necrotic, poisonous energy.
Yeah, because you said, explanation last episode, you said glowing green genasi, which was...
Yeah.
Are there many others like you?
You score. Maybe more, maybe less. Who's asking?
Just... someone who's lost.
We've all lost stuff. We've all lost people. You
I
can't
thought I was
survive
the
in the
last.
West. The last Genasi? Or the last whatever the hell you is.
Both?
Listen, lady, I'm not exactly sure what you is. What, some type of, given
Does
the name.
Claudette mean anything to you?
Oh yeah. Of course it does. I live in Canassa. I live in doomed Claudes. The Cladessian wastes are my homeland.
Is there anything left out there?
I mean, the tribes are out there. Scattered groups of nomads, eking out an existence, cleaning up after Mirage. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. But yeah, there's probably some ruins out there if you're really enterprising.
Yeah, maybe you could show me sometime?
Is that a date?
Yeah, could be.
Huh. I'll keep that in mind then. He'll smile. He's not poor looking. Like, he's just has this, like, it's just the sickly sheen to his flesh as he seems to, like, pulse and glow. Almost like an inverted version of you.
Yeah.
And as you are all having your niceties, you're going to hear a voice call out, "Hello there! It's good to have all of you together." As the vizier looms overhead from atop the balcony. "Please, spit spot, it's time for us to head inside and prepare for the ball. We have a number of different tailors and seamstresses to help you."
Oh, fantastic. I could use a new outfit.
I've never had a ball dress before.
Oh, they're so fun. I always saw my sisters wear them when I was growing up, and I always thought how nice they looked. And now I get to wear one too. Oh my god. This is just amazing.
Well, you'll have plenty of time to prepare for the ball. But please, go and rest up, and guests, please, to your quarters. The other guests should be arriving tonight.
Other guests.
Yes. The emissaries from Thandelia. The Genasi will spit his drink back into it as he goes to take a sip when Thandelia is mentioned. And the emissary from Orien. And you'll see anybody with a passive insight of 13 or higher will see the woman in the silks kind of just adjust herself uncomfortably. Oh. Please, make yourselves at home. Our tailors are waiting for you.
Fantastic.
With that, you are all ushered off back to your quarters to be outfitted for the evening. And I think that's probably a good place for us to take a little quick break. So folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. Hello, everybody. This is the portion of the program where we're going to talk to the chat. There's a dog's butt, and Kat is acquiring a rabbit right now, or is acquiring a rabbit? She's getting a rabbit, right?
She's taking one to then drop off.
That's right. So anyway,
She's running a rabbit delivery service, an RDS.
Yeah, it's a rescue situation.
Yeah.
That's right. So hey, folks, winter is getting a little choppy though. Why is your internet all screwy? Is Jordan downloading porn?
Probably no.
God damn it, Jordan.
No, he should be finished.
He's
though.
downloading pictures of Spider-Man.
I want Spider-Man.
I need pictures of Spider-Man.
I can ask him what he's doing because I can say that's.
I need pictures of Charlie. Charlie Man. So or uploading porn. That's what Not a Vampire, I Promise is literally, that's his OnlyFans. Which I'm not advertising. I need to say that for Twitch's terms of service. I'm just stating that it exists. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It could exist. I don't know. So, folks, we're going to talk to you for just a minute, and then we're going to get back into game. Tonight's been a doozy. I got to admit, I wasn't expecting to have to summon Lawyar into existence.
Yeah. Like, what was this? What even was this?
Yeah, so I will say, so we're, like, we talked about this during Dragonlance, but we're big supporters of writers and creatives being able to have, fair pay. So we are supporting the SAG-AFTRA strike. We're big supporters of that, which means that we're actually about ready over on our Patreon to start an Alien game. But that game is going to be, we promised it, so that and our, what's the other one we're doing?
Star Trek.
So those are behind a paywall, so that we're not creating content for those. But I'm excited because tomorrow we're doing our Session 0 podcast for Alien, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Ooh.
Oof, Robin, I just saw that. Not an umpire, I promise.
What? It's not a cumpire.
I was trying to make it less gross.
Oh.
So now I've got to tag this on YouTube. I got to go sexual situations. I do that anyway, just in case. I always tag our episodes with the low level of everything, except for.
Well, now we have to do that for Twitch now.
Sort of. Did you actually read the entire article?
No.
See,
I just clicked on the.
I just
clicked on the thing because Twitch came up and gave me the notice of you need to switch your tags.
You need to switch your tags if you do certain things frequently. Also, hello, Precarious! Look, it's Precarious! Who's very precariously... Yeah, Leggett, it's Traz. Hey, Breck.
I'm now in
2 windows of Dork Tales because
Yeah, me too. And I get to see
quietly
later
watching Breck kind of
for
technically
channel
gain
points.
Yeah.
pads.
So hey guys, we're just on a quick
Yes.
break, and then we're gonna be hopping back in once Cat returns with a rabbit, which is a hell of a sentence when you're talking about animals. When the cat returns with a rabbit. So we're going to be doing that. Everybody, Precarious. Precarious is amazing. You should all go follow Precarious. And Precarious is going to be running some games here on Extra Life. So go and give Precarious a follow. You can... Breck, do you have a YouTube channel yet? Or is it just... Do you just have it up on Twitch? Holy shit, that's a big rabbit.
Whoa!
I want the big bunny.
So big.
Heckin'
I want
chonker.
the big-
Charlie,
I want
Did
it
you
so
know it was
bad.
gonna be that big?
You didn't say it was a... You didn't say that was going to be a chungus.
Oh, you're sweet baby.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah,
I want
this
it.
is Casper. I'm gonna go put him
Casper.
away.
That's 6 times the size of her normal rabbit.
Is that like a Flemish? Like,
I don't
It
know,
looks like it.
but
No.
it's
crossbreed?
like-
Maybe it's not big
it's-
enough to be a full Flemish. I don't think.
But if it's a Casper, it's the ghost of Chungus past.
The ghost of Chungus Pass.
Chungus passed.
That's
Oh,
awful,
God.
Amy. Awful.
Amy, no.
That was really bad.
I'm like
Amy killed
This
themselves.
game-
There we go.
today's been like kind of a weird day, but I'm enjoying this kind of manic energy we all have.
I am manic. I am exhausted. I tried to make coffee. I looked down and saw that the coffee thing the filter had like clogged and had not actually been draining into the cup the way it's supposed to for the 1 cup little thing. So I'm staring at it going, why can't you just work?
Just chew the
You
beans.
have one job.
You had 1 job, and it was to make my brain hurt less.
Make me my brain hurt less. That's great.
Nah.
Cup for
I'm
sipping.
glad it gives you directions as
Yep.
opposed to cup used for other purposes.
Come for sipping.
Yeah, so that's Casper.
Eyes of Yellow.
I only have him for one night.
You should keep
He's
him and get rid of
on-
Vincent. You should drop Vincent
Oh
off.
my god.
Yeah, maybe you won't lose the internet.
Oh my god.
Those poor
And-
unsuspecting people.
Right?
Right?
You
And
were
so-
promised a ghost, and we gave you the devil himself.
It's true. So everybody, I can...
Casper-
Casper.
Oh, just Casper's heading off on a small plane tomorrow, all the way to Calgary, because a friend of mine is transporting him. So he's a rescue. So I'm fostering for one night, and then I facilitated air transport because the last airline in Canada that allowed rabbits, WestJet, just banned them.
Really?
So there are no airlines in Canada that allow rabbits on
So there's
board.
no hair raising.
Oh.
So,
What kind of
Now
jet would you
it's,
take? A Harrier?
oh.
Oh. How are you gonna
You
get-
mean
how-
a haircraft carrier?
Oh, there
A
we go.
haircraft
Yeah. A
carrier.
Harrier
I
jet
like
also works.
He left because they don't carry them.
That's true. So, folks, tonight you have been missing a bunch of, everybody say it with me, magical bullshit.
Magical bullshit.
Magical bullshit.
So, please, no more dad jokes. Gargoyle, I don't think you know which channel you're on. You're on the channel with dad jokes and magical bullshit. Thank you, Michael, for making that graphic for me. I really appreciate it.
Amazing.
It's
Did
Right.
we come up? Is one of did we add a deity to the pantheon that was all about dad jokes? Is that something that we did?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, I know. Professor
That's
Multiverse, I think,
ridiculous.
did that as their head canon. It was like, yes.
No, it's yeah. I just couldn't remember the.
For those who haven't been watching
Exactly.
Dreams of Arcos, it's a Greco setting, and they kept saying like, "That's ridiculous," and they're like, "No, that's ridiculous." Hi, everybody,
He's so
and he just
great.
kept appearing.
Kelly, you kill it on the homebrews. Like I love Shards, I love Rain, I love
Oh,
Arcos.
man.
It's just fantastic.
I'm never
If
gonna
I'm
beat
forgetting an
Trollex and
Excellent
Arcancer.
wizard.
Arcancer was a bit dark, but Trollex was a win.
Yeah, Arcancer. I was also going for Mancer for Necromancer, but Arcancer is good.
Arcancer is pretty good. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, that's how you get like the Ylos Breaking Bad story. Somebody cooking mana rocks.
Where would that happen?
Or
What's
mana
it? Would
juice?
that be a Fandalia, or would that be no?
Mm.
Because Fandalia is like good with like probably.
Fandalia is kind of like the Jersey, like it's the Philadelphia of, like, you know, it's definitely the Philadelphia / New Jersey of Ylos. I mean, Toulouse doesn't have great healthcare.
But Toulouse is kind of more like, well,
No,
how would I describe them?
okay.
It's like the
okay,
US.
Just hear me out for a second.
Yeah.
Looking at our lovely. So is it what? It's Genos the Genasi?
It's
Genis the Genasi.
Genis the Genasi. I randomly generated that name. I'm not gonna lie.
That was great. But Genis is in the Singing Wastes. I feel like that could be very Breaking Bad.
Yeah, because it looks like
Yes.
Albuquerque.
Having never seen the show, but from the vibes,
How have you still not
And-
seen Breaking Bad?
I haven't seen it either.
Well, yeah, of
So,
course
like,
you
you should
haven't.
watch it.
Also, everybody
not.
here should on Netflix. There's a new show called Zom 100.
Zom 100.
It's the 100 things to do before becoming a zombie bucket list show. It's an anime, and it's great. It's so I need you to picture a zombie apocalypse show. Okay, and picture all of the blood being replaced with splashes of paint color, like vibrant pinks and blues and reds, and greens. It's just the prettiest frickin' show. Also, why have you not finished watching Mr. Robot?
Because I was watching it and then I got to the scene where he got really sick and I was also sick at the time. And so it kind of just it turned me off for a bit and then I just forgot
is
that I was
fair.
watching that show. So I need to go back to it. So it's on the list of shows I need to
That's
watch.
fair. When my dad died, I took some time off watching Breaking Bad because, you know, lung cancer. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to give this some time. But then I finished it, and it's
Yeah,
great.
no.
Better Call Saul is even, like, I wouldn't say better, different, little more enjoyable, in my opinion. What else is really good right now? Christine, you and I are watching season 4 of JoJo, and it's really picking up.
Joe.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Josuke's...
ridiculous.
Or Jotaro? Jotaro is a pretty good JoJo. He's weird.
Yeah, Jotaro's pretty good. Josuke's just
Yeah.
weird.
And I finally got Robin watching Evil.
Oh my god. Yes.
Evil's
So
really good, guys. I'm sorry. I know it's oxymoronic, but Evil is good. You know who needs to watch
it
Evil?
has such a good villain.
Winter, you need to watch Evil. It's on Paramount Plus. It's okay. So you know Mike Coulter, the guy that plays Luke Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's him being a sexy priest who investigates exorcisms.
Ooh, sexy priest, you say?
Yeah, but I love Mike Coulter because you feel like looking at him, he looks like he would be both hard and soft to touch at the same time.
Interesting.
You feel me
And
on
a
that?
hard
Like,
and soft lover as well.
yeah, I bet he kisses real nice. Look, okay, I am 99.9%
discussion.
straight, and then there's Mike Coulter. Okay. He's very handsome. And I'm like, damn. He's a good-looking man.
But I mean, that's not necessarily like you should be able to appreciate the other.
Yeah, and then I appreciate it. And then there's whatever I feel for Mike Coulter. So
Okay, fair, fine.
I mean, as far as men go, Tom Ellis still really does it.
oh yeah, Tom. I just feel like he'd be kind of scratchy.
He'd be scratchy, but I'd be super down with it.
Well, of course you would.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I want Tom Ellis,
What is?
and I don't even know if I'm attracted to men yet.
When are you gonna find that out? When are you gonna check?
I have no clue. I even went down to Paparazzi to have a fun night, and I still didn't end up finding out.
Yeah,
I have been actively trying to figure this out. I still don't
I
know.
don't know what to tell you,
I'm most
friends.
attracted to.
Well,
So
my answer turned out to be mostly nothing. And that was
I
a
mean-
revelation.
I mean, I know for sure that I am attracted to certain people. I want to find out if I'm attracted to other certain people. Or rather, certain parts.
Clearly, what you got to do is get a journal and start doing this like a science experiment and recording everything step by step. You have your...
You gotta test your hypothesis.
You test your hypothesis on different nights with your different sample size.
Just
How do you know
exactly.
if you don't have a big enough sample size?
Hey, it's not the
Hey,
size of the
baby,
sample
can you
that
show me your
counts.
sample size?
It's like, ooh, baby.
Ooh, baby, baby.
So
it's a
I
wild world.
I still need to figure this out.
Counterintuitive to the whole like notion of body counts. Clearly, the larger number gives you a better idea.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right, speaking
Yeah,
of
look at
body.
your N value.
How can
Okay,
you be
folks.
sure if you're not statistically sound?
Are you guys want me to leave this in the episode? I'm not gonna-
I'm perfectly happy with it.
I'm not going to edit this shit out.
I'm
All right.
I'm totally fine. It's statistics, your N value. The bigger the N,
Exactly.
the more statistically significant.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's basic
So long
science.
as the end justifies the means, okay? So,
Troll X.
I'm just looking up new over-ear headphones while you guys all discuss this because I can't figure out my Bose headphone issue connection.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm sorry
no.
about that. You should
This
try
headphone issue is brought to you by Trollex.
by Trollex. It's a
There's
Trollex.
the
It has a
problem.
watermark. I should have had to give you like a bone,
They
like
see
a
me
bone
trolling.
business card that has a watermark. That would be great. Oh man. Anyway, what else do I got to tell you guys on this break? I got like 2 minutes left in this break. So folks, you should sign up or you should put in your calendar Extra Life on the 18th, 19th, and 20th of August. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is the next 18th, 19th, and 20th that exists, and you should be here for that because it'll be a lot of fun. You should also sign up for the damn Patreon because I like seeing those numbers go up because that means I can do things like I have a bunch of new games and I gotta get a bunch of assets and music for them. So please join because we're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff. Should I announce the thing that we're gonna be doing?
Sure.
Okay, so the other day I was looking at my schedule. Also, thanks for the follow. I was looking at my schedule and I was like, wow, my schedule is really busy. I should not do any additional projects. And then that night, someone in our Discord goes, oh, hey, they just announced Planescape is dropping in October. And I'm like, they're dropping another module for D&D literally 1 month after they're dropping the big module for the year. So Fandelver starts on September 19th, or drops on September 19th, and then Planescape drops on October 17th. Are you kidding me? So I reached out to my team, like the Dorktales team, and I'm like, all right, I know you guys are in tons of games right now. We got tons of projects. Who's available? And I'm like, I'm expecting that it's going to be one of those like, oh, if I do this, I'll have to probably like, this is going to be real bare bones. And then I got like 8 potentials who are like just an amazing combination of people. Oh, I forgot to put one person on here, actually. I got 9 potential people on this list that are like, holy crap, if I mix these chemicals together, sugar, spice, and everything nice. And also several people with the same name. So it actually would be pretty rad. I'm pretty excited about that. Are you taking a break or are you into the session? We're taking a break. Yeah. Taking a break right now. And we're going to be hopping back in a second.
Sugar and spice and chaos incarnate.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. All right. So, but anyway, join the Patreon because it will be great to have people with us for those
Because
amazing
art
adventures.
is expensive, but
Goddamn,
totally
art is
worth
expensive.
it.
I think if we do
I'm
Planescape,
excited
we're going to
for
have to
the new thing.
that we're going to be
And
getting
let's
some
start.
what new thing?
The
Oh, the chibis. That we're getting a bunch of
Yeah.
chibis done. Yeah, it's going to be good.
yeah, I'm excited for that.
Everybody, fill out your damn chibi art things. All of you, fill them out. Fill them out. I sent a sheet out. Fill it out. It's only like 3 sentences. because we have existing art. All right. Ugh. Do it, and I'll make Cadamus have a chibi. Nice. All right. Any other things that we want to talk about on the break, or is it time to head back in?
Back in.
All right, let's do
Let's
it.
go.
All right. Hurrah. I don't know what that means. Hey, Diggy. Good to see you. Go fill out the damn form. Chris, I see you. Fill out your form. All right, let's head back in. A 5, a 4, a 3, a 2. Hello and welcome back to the Shards of Nyrn here on Dork Tales. The rest of the day is a whirlwind of different fittings, different tailorings, as each of you is put through the paces preparing for the balls. Each of you is attended by no less than 3 different attendants, halflings and humans, swirling around you with motion as they take your measurements, as they fit you for different outfits, as they fit you for different wonderful, well, accoutrements for the ball. No matter what you decide to do, what you decide to wear, you will find yourself having a full day of being measured, being tugged around, being suited up for this diplomatic engagement. And every time you are near where you can get anything more than a glass of wine to sip on, you'll see little bits of hors d'oeuvres being handed out to the attendants, I should say. And each of you, as you're trying to grab a little morsel to eat, you're going to be pulled over to get measured again for another outfit, another thing. And thus goes your days, or your day as you are being set up for the night to come. It is an exhausting endeavor, and I would like everybody here to do me 2 things. I would like you, first of all, to make me a Constitution save.
Oh. Now, when you said when the guys had to go to rest, not like long rest, right?
You will rest tonight.
Okay. Con, you say?
Con save, please.
Con.
Yep. And I'm spending that drama bomb immediately, Soul Omen. You'll know when it happens. But that Hurt the More is going to be used for. All right, so it was DC 13 con save to not gain a level of exhaustion. Did anybody fail? All right, time to roll for Cadamus. Exactly a 13 plus his bonuses. He is fine. Holy crap. How many Hurt the Mores is that? 5?
I don't know.
Cool.
Blog and Jen are going for it. They're still going, so let's let them both do the max.
All right, there's 6.
Oh, if something good happens, thanks, Jen.
Yay, gotta love the SGHs.
Right?
All right.
Like, I don't know what you think, but a single something good does not balance the scales.
Sure it does. Sure it does.
So 7 Hurt the Mores were bought just now.
So the end of the night comes and you are all absolutely exhausted after the fitting. You get a little bit of time to sit and prepare and maybe catch your breath at the end of it as the fitting is done around midnight. Your attendants draw you a long bath in each of your resplendent bathrooms. And you are left to your own devices, with slightly stale pinwheel sandwiches made of some type of roast beast awaiting each of you, with kind of a little bit of like sheep's cheese milled inside of the pinwheels. And with that, the attendees, or the attendants, I keep messing that up, the attendants all depart for the evening to magically create your outfits for the next morning. What do you all do? You all have your apartments within basically a wall of each other.
Yeah, because Tia and Fadia are sharing.
Tia and Fadia are sharing a room, Mars and Aeson are sharing a room, and Cadamus and Mali are sharing a room.
I think Fadia's... gonna actually go and ask everyone if they want to like play
Reconvene.
cards or something. Like just talk about political strategy and what we've all kind of learned talking to the attendants and stuff.
Does
Sure.
Fadia partially decide to do that because Tia looks like she's about to have a nervous breakdown because she's not meant for diplomacy?
Yes, I think
What I'd like you to
And
do,
this means a lot.
going through some notes because
If you
Fadia's been writing.
if you talk to your attendants, I would like anyone who talked to their attendants to make me a carousing roll to see if you could have gathered some information. That will be a you can either make me a persuasion roll, or you can make me a let's say persuasion or an insight roll. You may make one of
I
these
will do
rolls.
insight.
I'm going for insight.
And
Dirty 20 insight.
okay,
And
what'd you roll, Tia?
7 total. I rolled a 3.
You're-
better than me. I rolled a nat 1. So 10.
You gave them information.
I gave them information.
I rolled an 11, and that ended up as 13.
And Christine, go ahead and let the dog out if he's whining.
Okay, I'm going to. The thing I mentioned to you on break, would this be
Yes.
a good time to have snuck off? For that,
Before
did I
or
manage
after
to
the
avoid-
fitting?
Did I manage to avoid part of the beginning of the fitting with that?
Can you make me a stealth roll?
Yeah. And I'm not wearing my armor, I think, at this point, so I shouldn't get a disadvantage to it because we're in the thing. We were doing the.
Yep, you
What?
don't have a stealth penalty for a change.
Yes. That is going to be 18.
18. All right. So, as you were all getting fitted, Malia has snuck away, and you will definitely, Asen, you'll hear some of the attendants complaining that they can't that the dwarves have locked themselves in their chambers. And
He's getting desperate, so I have to go.
okay, sounds good. But everybody else is going to be fitted appropriately. And as you are going and getting some information from people, you are going to find out the following things. So, Fadia, starting with you, you are going to talk to your attendants, and what are you asking about? Which one of the guests are you asking about?
I think she's actually just more in general of like, have you heard have you heard anything like specifically like, okay, sorry, I'm gonna rewind. My brain is doing the thing where it's faster than my mouth. So Fadia is going to ask about, have you heard anything specifically said in either extremely positive or extremely negative about relationships? So have you heard anyone say anything disdainful, or anyone's like, these are my best friends kind of thing?
One of the attendants will lean in and say, you know, I have heard that there's a bit of a secret romance between the one that's coming from Vandalia, Meryl Silvershard. She and I think her name's Nazili, the paladin in the silks. They have a bit of a love affair, I hear. Kind of one of those forbidden romances.
Oh.
I bet if you could maybe get them back together, that would probably help your cause.
Huh. Interesting.
But you didn't hear it from me.
No, of course not.
Oh,
Thank
what
you.
cute feet.
And
She'll continue measuring your feet and setting you up.
thank you. She'll pass off a gold coin.
Oh, well, thank you.
If you hear of anything else.
You'll be the first to know, of course.
Thank you. I'm sorry, what's your name? I've been so rude. We've been talking for like hours and I didn't even ask you your name.
Alea.
Thank you, Alea.
And this is Bruno. Hi, says the
Hi,
halfling.
Bruno.
Yes, very nice toes, very twinkly.
Oh, thank you.
Mars, who were you asking about with your 13?
The one that I would probably want more information about is probably the Goliath that I,
Insulted?
yeah.
Your attendant will kind of like give you a look and say, well, as far as I've heard, the Goliaths from Ustral are particularly prideful. They're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. Being the northern boundary, well, yeah, they're the northern boundary of Orkesh, and on the other side, they, well, on one side they've got Exilar, which is pretty cursed, and then on the south they've got the Dead Coast. So, I mean, there's not really much that they can do. It's a barren land, but at least it's outside of the Mana Waste's curse, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
They're tough people, though. If you, and they love a challenge.
Okay. I'll have to think. I got some ideas. I'll have to think.
Of course. I'm sure you could find a way to win her over, though. She, is definitely quite a woman. All 7 feet of her. Whew.
That's gonna be fun to create an outfit for, hey?
Thankfully, the dignitaries came with their own. We're just responsible for you. Did you want any jewelry for your tail?
You know what? I've never put jewelry there before. What would you suggest?
For you, purple, definitely something.
I like silvers.
I was thinking either silver or platinum would be best. A bit of a chain and a cuff, maybe?
Yes, please.
Of course. Let's see what we can do. So as you're talking with your attendants, what did you get on your roll, Tia?
That was a 7 total.
7 total? What were you asking about?
Just trying to get a sense of what might, like, what their values are, how to appeal to them.
Honestly, I don't know, man. Like, this is my first time here, you know? Like, I'm just a tailor for the most part. Although, like, I've heard that, I've heard that the Spriggants are real party, I guess not animals, party flora. So,
Okay,
like...
that's good to know.
So, like, if you offer them some, like, some purple haze or something, I think they'll probably be, like, pretty chill. I've got some if you want to buy some.
I think I'm okay, but...
Are you sure? I've got alacrity, I've got joy.
No, I gotta make sure I'm keeping a clear head.
Okay. I've also...
Thanks.
Sure, I've also got Tropilex.
What's that?
Oh, it's a wizardly pill that helps you focus for studying.
I think I'm good, but maybe go talk to my friend Fadia.
Yeah, I'll do that. Fadia, you've taken Tropilex before. You almost got kicked out of university because of it, Annie.
Yeah.
All right, so Tropalex equals wizard Adderall. Okay, it's on my list now. And Asen, as you are asking, or what are you asking about?
I think she's really interested because we're getting somebody from Orien as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Orien and also Fandelia. Yeah.
She's interested about the one from Orien, I think.
Okay, with that. So, look, okay. Your attendant kind of leans in, runs a hand through his, like, kind of slightly graying orange hair. I don't want to say anything bad about anybody, okay? But, this one from Orien is a real pessimist, okay? He's a tabaxi, okay? I think his name's Sigaro. Sigaro's got this kind of pessimism. He's one of those naysayers, right? Loves to play devil's advocate, you know? He will argue anything so long as it's the negative side of a situation. So if you want to really win him over to your side, you got to make something sound so hopeless that he has to take a positive angle.
Okay, that's good to know.
You got to use that reverse psychology on him, okay? I heard that's how he got married to his first wife. She anti-negged him. I guess she paused him. She paused him, which is funny to say that she paused him because, you know, he's a tabaxi.
He's a tabaxi.
He's a tabaxi. You get it. You get it. You're a smart girl.
I get it.
You get it.
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
I like your midriff. Are we leaving this open, or do you want to close this up?
You know, we could leave a little bit of a keyhole right in the
right at the navel. Yeah, I can.
Right at the navel, just to, you know, show off a bit of jewelry, right?
Well, I mean, you got this nice crease down the middle of your stomach, so like I think that that's a good thing. Yeah, you do a lot of crunches, some planking.
Yeah, I keep in shape.
You do?
So.
Yeah, I can. Oh, I mean, obviously, I could. Do you do Pilates?
Yeah.
Huh. I never could get into them. I did some Tai Chi, but then I did some Chai Tea, and I kind of mix them together. It's a really nice, nice mix of things.
The Chai Tea, it works so well sometimes. Right?
I mean, I know it's just saying TT, but you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey,
no.
Sometimes it's just the way it's got to be, right?
Yeah, it's true. So the other thing I can tell you about this Sigaro guy, really doesn't like the Goliath and has had some bad encounters along the Ghost Coast or the Dead Coast.
Okay.
With the Ustrali. But oh wait, no. Oh, I'm thinking the bloody girl. The one from Alizar, she and that Goliath got a bad relationship. Ever since Alizar got split in half by the Ustrali a couple hundred years ago, there's always been a lot of tension there. But anyway, it's not good. What you need to do if you really want to kind of beef up Sigaro, the one topic that you can definitely go whole hog on negging is Emrys. Oregon is like a direct ally of the Akokan Islands. So they got a big hate on for Emrys.
Okay. I think we can use that.
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, you know those Okokans. Okoka sometimes. Okoko when it's convenient, as they say.
Hey, I like you. You're funny.
Thank you. My name's Thaddeus. Thaddeus Hermophily.
Thaddeus.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you've already met me significantly. I've been naked half the day, so.
Oh, that's okay. Honestly, like, you're not my type, so, you know. You know who I do like, though?
Who?
The little dwarven guy you got going with you. Oh, he's built. I love my short kings.
Oh, that is phenomenal.
Yeah. Nothing I
he-
love.
He's with our paladin, Malia.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can't win them all.
You can dream though.
Oh boy, could I ever. I tell you, this one time, and he proceeds to tell you a story about this. Let's just say his spending time in the mines of Moria.
Oh boy, I like this guy. He's awesome.
Thaddeus, I'm writing his name down.
Yeah, I'm just writing his name down too.
Okay. And with that, you all spend time. That's the information that you have going forward into your little meeting. You gather around midnight to eat cold sandwiches and plan the next night. What do you talk about?
So does anyone find anything that will be helpful here?
So I was talking to my attending, and she told me that Neryl Silvershard, who's coming as the representative or dignitary from Fandelia, has had like a love affair with Nazili from Alizar. So,
Ooh.
might be something in that.
Like a
Get
good
the
like
favor of one.
things end well or poorly? Should we keep them separate or together?
It's like a secret romance kind of thing. So,
Oh jeez.
yeah, I don't
So
know.
we
So
should
you-
subtly try and keep them together.
But also try not to cause a separate diplomatic incident with it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, we're good at that.
Are we?
You are? Oh, great. I was worried.
Oh yeah, we're good at everything we do.
I mean, things have tended to work out. That's true, but
Yeah.
not necessarily for our own doing.
Which, I mean, talking about things not working out for people. Cigaro, the
Okay.
dignitary coming over from Oriana, apparently the biggest pessimist in the world, and needs a good dose of reverse psychology to get him to agree to things. So aiming to just, I don't know, make the war with Kesh just seem super hopeless and terrible, and go from there.
I mean, it is already pretty terrible. So this
Exactly,
isn't
but
too difficult.
we need to make it sound way more terrible than it already is.
So some hyperbole. That's easily
Yes.
done.
Yes,
Just-
exactly. And he also hates Emery's,
Oh.
and he's a tabaxi. So I mean, he should be positively great.
Oh,
Okay.
Malia and Cadamus sit down at the table around this point, both looking pretty exhausted, like they just finished their fittings.
Where have you two been this whole time?
It took
yeah,
a
I haven't
while.
seen you guys.
Hiding from those insane tailors.
Yeah, I just sort of let them do their thing, and I was out pretty quick.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the things where you don't want to fight it. The more you fight it, the more struggle it's going to be.
Oh my god, I've been having so much fun all day with my group.
Okay, I think mine.
We've been in and out for like 12 hours.
That sounds terrible. I'm so sorry.
I've been having so much fun.
Yeah, my attendant
Strange person.
seemed
Well, yeah.
not all here. I'm
Mine was
fairly
fine.
certain
I mean,
mine
how's
was very
how's
bubbly.
Sotia?
smoking something. Sorry, what
Well,
was
I
that?
mean-
Ethan?
Well, like how was he not here?
I just didn't seem super engaged. It was like just get the thing done, and he was snacking a lot too, like the whole time.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, just look at me. I'm always hungry.
Yeah, but he didn't share.
Well, that's dumb.
Exactly.
Okay, well, anyways. I think we're gonna do great.
You know what?
You know, like,
I love the optimism. I do. I just know that if this doesn't pan out, that it's gonna be off like horrible.
Yeah.
That's why we gotta think it's gonna go great. What you think about, you bring about. Don't forget.
Malia, Catamus, Mars, what else did you guys find from your attendance?
Mm.
Not much.
Were we supposed to find something from the attendance?
Get gossip.
All that I really got was
I
that
tried to get out of that appointment as fast as I could.
Hmm.
They did not want to let me use my usual outfit, which is unfortunate.
oh,
What did you find, Mars?
that our tall lady, they're located right sort of north of Orkesh. That's where it was, right,
Mhm.
Kelly?
Yep.
Kind of right in the middle of where all of the tension is building. So, very prideful people. If we could maybe do something that might impress them with our own might, our own wits, our own everything that we're good at, perhaps we could probably persuade them. But they're just worried about being stuck in the middle. If they choose one way or another, they don't have anywhere to go at that point. So we're gonna have to impress the pants off of them.
Okay.
So it's not doable, but it's just gonna take a little bit of our
Wait, which group was that? That was the...
Goliath, right?
the Goliath,
Oh, the tall one.
Right,
the
okay.
tall one.
Hey.
Oh, also Catamus, my attendant, has a thing for you.
Oh yeah, what's she like?
Oh, he's a great dude.
Not my type. Not my type at all. Not my type at all. Probably too tall. Definitely too tall. Too tall. Aye.
How tall was my attendant? He was
human.
a halfling. Oh, he's
He was a
human.
human.
Okay. Oh yeah. He was too tall for you for sure. But
Aye. More than 4.5 feet tall. Far too high.
he definitely appreciated you.
Well, that's complimentary.
Exactly. It was very complimentary. I just thought you should know that.
Aye. Well, thank you very much. I suppose that it's always.
I told him that you were presently unavailable.
Thank you, lass. And anybody who has 18 passive perception or higher is going to hear the sound of the adjacent chamber. The door will open. So whichever room you're meeting in, I'm assuming the central room, probably the one that is Fadia and Tia's room, you're going to hear the door to to Mars and Asen's room open.
I do not hear this.
Nope.
I'm gonna poke my head out.
As you poke your head out, you're going to see a dark shape looming through your room, long robes dragging on the floor, a horned demeanor, kind of just like floating across the room, just almost spectrally.
I'm just gonna go lean up against a door and just go knock, knock, knock.
The vizier spins around, his hair up in this long, like turban towel, like he just took a long bath. He's dressed in a long robe, like nightgown that streaks across the ground.
What can I do you for?
It's you, Miss Ace in the right wing.
Oh yeah, this is my room.
Yes, I was looking for you and your companion. In fact, where are all of your companions?
Oh, we were just discussing post fitting. What's up? What can we do for you? What do you need?
You've startled me quite badly.
I'm sorry that I startled you, but I mean, let's rewind here and see how we led to this situation.
Yes. And he'll kind of like drift over toward your common meeting area. The Vizier will look in, and he looks, anybody who has a passive insight, I'm going to say of 12 or higher, you are going to see that he looks visibly shaken. He looks visibly nervous. He's vibrating more than usual.
Are you okay?
Tomorrow is the ball in which you will try to acquire diplomatic powers.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
And at the height of this gathering, I was hoping to put my plans into motion. I'm so nervous.
Oh, come on in. Come on in.
What
Sit down.
plans?
Walk us through it. What's your idea for tomorrow? Walk us through.
At the height of the ball, I was... Hold on, he's going to make a save to see if he can hold it together. Oh, it's a 10, so -5. He'll... I was thinking that we talked about... He starts tearing up. We talked about how the great Sultana, praise be unto her, should be...
You can do it. It's okay. You're
I
my
was
friend.
going to ask for a date.
Absolutely.
Aww.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. So,
But
what is
I've
it that
got
you're
no mojo.
Okay.
He continues to weep.
fair. Ace
I
is
have-
gonna go up and try teas in her head. She's gonna go up and make some tea and bring him a mug of tea.
Can I give you one suggestion?
Yes.
First, ask her to dance, and then ask her to date.
So which dance? The Macarena? The electric slide? The elemental slide?
Ask her at a song before
slow
it goes
song.
into a nice slow song.
Like
And
what?
then enjoy the nice slow song together. And
Like
it'll
free-
seem much
free
more
rock?
organic. It'll
Yes,
seem
free
much more
rock
natural.
is-
It's
although,
gonna
I
kill
mean-
us.
Natural might be. Anyways, and then you could ask her to go. Like everyone else goes like, "Oh, do you want to go get dinner with me? Do you want to go do this? Go out and do something fun together,
Yeah, she.
like a fun activity."
We could subjugate the populace.
Don't you do that already?
But not together.
She wants something exciting and fun.
Take her for a stroll in the pleasure garden.
The
Actually, I'm sure she'd probably quite like that.
the pleasure garden,
Um,
isn't that a bit racy?
I mean, she's a bit racy herself.
I
It
guess
shows
what they
that you know
say,
her.
better sexy than racy than sexist and racist.
All right. You seem
That's
rather
right.
overwrought by this.
Well, I've
Would you like
I've
some magical bolstering before this?
performance enhancing spells.
Don't go for performance enhancing spells.
Maybe just a little one.
No, not at all.
No,
But I could use
you
some
never know the
pulse.
side effects.
Trust me, I was a guy for a long time. Don't go for those.
But I
These are
thought
just
it was
what
good
you
if it.
think I'm saying.
No, I know what you're saying, but now he's got it in his mind that what you're saying is actually performance enhancing spells, because he's not picking
Don't
up
just
what
go
you're
say
saying.
no. Don't take what she's offering you.
What?
No, I'm
Maybe
telling
explain
him.
it
don't
first.
Take...
I'm offering you a charisma booster so you won't whimper all over her.
Yes, I would...
Excellent. Let's try it out now. Smack.
What are you
Enhance
casting?
ability. Gets advantages on charisma checks.
I don't
Nice.
feel any difference.
You're not whimpering.
And
I
that's a
wasn't-
win.
I wasn't whimpering before. I was merely expressing my emotions.
Exactly.
Well, now you're doing it more clearly.
Oh my god, I am.
Try laughing.
It only lasts an hour, so I'll do it again before the ball.
Okay, still maniacal, but okay.
Sorry, it's a family thing.
Yes, we know. We're just wondering if it would go away potentially with your
Then at the height of the ball, I will ask for her hand in datrimony.
Sure, if you
Don't-
want to call it that.
Maybe don't phrase it
I
that
wouldn't
way.
phrase it that way.
Or
Fine, in
would you like to
courtship.
dance?
I mean, you know what? Don't change. Don't change to suit somebody else. Be who you are. If she doesn't like that, she doesn't like that.
Show enough. Show enough.
What?
What?
Show enough. Yes,
It means sure enough.
yes. I'm sorry. Is that not Toulousian dialect? I've been reading a couple of books.
How old are you?
Yeah, not modern
if-
Toulousian anyway.
40, 50, 70. How old is he? Hold on, I wrote it down somewhere. It's
You
been like,
youngins and your weird ass slang.
how old
Was
is
it-
he?
My dad used to talk like that when he was trying to seem like one of the cool young kids, and then it was actually just embarrassing. But it was always like the yeah, it's dad, thing.
Asen, how old are you?
He's in his 60s.
I'm only like my mid-20s. My dad's in his 60s though.
I'm 60,
600?
60 something, 60 something.
No, my dad's a human.
Oh, okay.
Your father was the one who impregnated the elf.
I
Yes.
thought you were older.
No, as far as elves go, I'm young. I'm like a teenager.
I mean,
So
as far
your
as
mother
image goes, you're
was
young if you're 20.
slumming it.
Wait, do we count you in human years or elf years then?
I mean,
Are we allowed to feed her alcohol?
yes, we're allowed to feed me alcohol.
But in elf years, you're a baby.
In
You're
elf
like
years,
an
I'm a baby.
infant.
In human years, I'm an adult. So
I don't
I
understand.
won't live as long as my mom will. I'll live quite a bit longer than my dad will. It's that weird mix,
I'm six
like I
times
probably got
older than
like
you.
I know, isn't that weird?
I'm not even gonna
But
do
This
the
is
math.
so
But
strange.
if you think about
I mean, you didn't
the
live
first-
those years technically, Fadia. So you don't have to
True.
count
I
them.
wasn't a chrysalis. I was reading library books. I felt those 3,000
You were doing a
years.
dissertation.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go pick out
Yeah.
perfume
Yes,
for
the world.
tomorrow.
How the hell did it preserve you like that? Mally just starts giving you like very curious looks. like, can we
Magic?
duplicate this?
Have a wonderful
And-
night.
Ah,
Good night.
I'm off to pick perfumes, and he'll sashay away. Flounce, flounce,
that
flounce.
Well, that was
Oh, that was pretty helpful right there.
yeah.
So if we keep Asen around, is that kind of like having a dog?
Yeah. No.
Are you
I think
sure?
Mally feels
Because
really hard, like she's trying not to laugh.
I'm about 5 times. Well, I'm about 10 times as old as you.
Yeah, I know you're an old man.
I'm not an old man. I'm younger than she is. Wait,
How
I'm
old
not?
are you?
How old are you?
No, I asked
Why do
her.
we not know how old everybody is?
we've recently done this too. It's hilarious.
I mean,
we've
I'm in my-
recently done the how.
I'm in my.
How old are you?
240. Well, how old are you?
125.
All right, so divide your age and then add.
You
240.
are
I'm still good, but 2 years. But 2 years.
half of 240 is 120.
Hey, and then you add, oh, you add 7. Shite.
It's 7.
I thought it was 7 for
Good.
humans.
Yeah, so it should
Oh,
be more
it's-
for
it don't-
dwarves.
No, it's actually it's the same actually.
Because if it's 7, and then you guys live like to 500, and humans maybe live to 100, so you'd be 30.
Is it on a scale?
Half. And add
Well, am I
35.
240? I mean, it depends which calendar. I actually forget how old I said he was. Was it? Did I say he was in his 240s
I
originally?
rounded up.
Wiki
'Cause I said
Lords.
Malia was 124 when we started this, but I think at this point it's been like
Or was he
It's
around
past her birthday
180? I think he was around 180 originally.
Who knows?
I totally
Wiki,
thought
anyone
Ace
on the
was older, though.
wiki?
Someone on the wiki, go
He
check.
was just quietly sitting there, just like, yeah, it's just, yeah.
Well, and then like for me, you know, like half elves mature the same rate as humans do for the first
Alright, but
while.
since you had your but since your
rebirthing?
Audi since your Audi became an innie, do you reset again? So how old is this body? Or is it the same body but just switched around?
I mean, it's kind of the same, but it's the same.
Well, how do we
Thank you,
treat
birthday.
how do we treat reincarnation and resurrection if they get
I
a new
thought-
body at a new age?
How does reincarnation work? Can any of you do that spell?
Eventually, yeah.
Oh wait, how
I mean,
Mars, you used to be a human,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, how long are you gonna live?
That's something I was just considering is that when I was
Have you
turned
noticed
into a
anything start to
tiefling-
sag?
Ugh.
I can do
Uh,
resurrection, just not reincarnation.
I just assumed I've still been aging in human years. I'm about 28 now. When we started this adventure, I was 24-ish.
About 24.
Yeah.
So
I've just been assuming that it's still human years for me, so I don't even know.
well, what about Genasi? Did Genasi age at about the same rate? Look, I just need to know who's the dogs and who's the people of this
No one
relation.
is a dog and no one is a people. There's no Kaneen here.
Oh, but wouldn't that be great if we had a couple of those buggers?
Genasi age
What are
roughly
they
about the
doing?
same time as humans, but we live several hundred years. I'm
Then that's
special.
not the same as humans. Humans are like tissue paper.
yeah. So I mean, like the first like formative years for like me, for instance, is like the same as a human. And then it kind of transitions more into elf years after that. So that's why I get the nice long life, but I get the, you know, I don't want to say maturity, but you know, I get the adulthood nice and quickly, and then I still take a while to. I mean, you know me. I'm not exactly the most mature person in the world. I'm like.
You're not.
18
You're not.
right.
A bit
Like
down, a bit down.
in you know, like
14.
I would say I'm close to 18 mentally.
Mentally?
Like,
Yeah.
In dog ears?
What is with you and dogs?
I like dogs! I like dogs. What's wrong with dogs?
Nothing's wrong with dogs. Are great.
Dogs are fantastic, but none of us are dogs.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I mean, we
mean,
could
it
change
can be.
this.
I mean, I could learn
you want
polymorph and put
There
you
to be a
into
dog. Tia's just gonna wild shape into a dog.
And at the
Hey,
same time,
Oh, who's a good girl? Who's a good
no.
girl?
and at the same time,
Basset hound.
Asen's gonna just summon a
Oh,
bunch
look
of
at her
dogs.
wee little legs and her big droopy ears.
Cadmus finds the spot that makes you like automatically start thumping your leg.
Oh my god.
I rolled a nat 20
Effectively.
to do that. I just rolled a nat 20 to find the spot.
All right. So, can you let me talk for a sec?
Oh yeah, I forgot you can talk when you're an animal.
Oh yeah, and so Tia's
Are
like,
you a normal sized basset hound?
yes.
You're now a very large sized basset hound.
You're casting
Katie's
in
gonna
large.
Cast enlarge.
Zoom.
And Asen's gonna summon 8 more.
And Cadamus is hanging off of your flank because you just turned into a horse-sized basset hound while he was scratching you. So he's dangling up there going, "Oh, it's a big doggy!"
Aeson's gonna reach up and pull him down.
Why have I ever had to walk?
Because usually I reserve this until we're in combat.
I could have been riding a dog this whole time.
I don't do
I
the
know.
whole dog. I'm usually not this large.
Yeah, that's a me special. Sorry.
I mean, I can always do this, and then Tia's going to flip over to be a horse, like a large horse.
And now you're a very large horse because you are still enlarged.
Oh no.
Tia miscalculated, Tia will say as like her head bumps into something. Okay, I can't coordinate with these hooves on the... clip,
Alright.
clip, flop, clop, like clacking.
Fadia drops the concentration on enlarge reduce.
Thank you, that's a little better. So, anyway, and Tia's just gonna carry on the rest of the conversation as a horse.
All right. The rest of your night's conversation is fun. And eventually, you will turn in for the night. You have a long day ahead of you tomorrow. And after a morning of breaking fast and preparing, the dignitary ball is meant to begin in the early afternoon. The palace is decked out for this with huge ice sculptures that have been molded out of magic. Dozens of different delicacies from all manner of lands, including a number of live ones that the Sultana has assured you are delicious. Like live squids, live octopi eating the live squids, and a number of other things. There are fairy lights, literal fairy lights, being strung throughout the grand ballroom, and one by one, as it begins, you are all each summoned there to await your guests. Can you please, starting with Malia, can everyone describe their outfit? You know what? I'll start. Catamus is dressed in a full black suit with long tails that almost drape the ground, as well as a slightly puffed collar with this kind of ruched, this ruched cummerbund. And not a cummerbund, this ruched underlayer that kind of puffs out like a big mat of chest hair, but it's this kind of lacy white fabric. Malia.
I think Malia ended up in a dress that looks vaguely Grecian style, with like caught on the shoulders and then farther down, but like displaying the shoulders. Think a little bit Padme's sunset dress. Just a little bit, but in creams, gold, and sky blue.
Okay. So a very simple dress since you weren't there for much of the fitting.
Simple, but flowing, something she could move in, and I think she probably has her hair up in, actually, yeah, I think the kind of very Grecian inspired kind of curls, like the thing going up, curls cascading down, and braids across, constraining it all.
Nice. What does Tia look like? What is Tia wearing?
I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. It's like it's a dark, deep, like almost black purple at the top that fades down to like this almost like magenta at the bottom, with like crisscrossing fabric material and kind of like a halter neck, so that her tattoos on her arms are both on display. Yeah, just floor length, or like, yeah.
Nice.
And yeah.
All right. Asen.
So she comes out and she's in this crazy ball gown. It's dark red and black. It's, with a sweetheart neckline. It's off the shoulder. And it's this big, like, poofy floor-length dress with a bit of a train, and she's got this little keyhole opening right at her navel, showing a nice bit of jewelry there that matches the dress. And she's got her hair. She's got it worn down, just nicely curled, and just over one shoulder. But it's like this is a ball gown. This is like a Cinderella ball gown except red.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Mars, what are you wearing?
She is wearing something similar to what she borrowed from Aeson actually at the last party, which was the long, sort of more satin fitted black dress with like the thigh cut up on one side. It's not very like big or flowy, but it's very sleek, shiny. And what she went with more is in the jewelry to be statement pieces. So she's got little purple jewels. I don't want to say it's like amethyst, but it's like pinky purple, kind of like the same as her eye color in the pear-shaped cut gemstones. Kind of just like in her ears, on her fingers and rings, as a part of like the tail that we were describing, with a coiled silver piece, very, very bright and shiny, with more of the gems attached to that. And I was thinking in her hair, usually her hair is just always kind of like wild and messy, but I actually imagine it this time it's gonna be straightened out, very sleek, and maybe pinned on one side, and then so it comes and cascades off the other with more purple and silver jewels holding it, so it's over her left shoulder.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just very sleek, not so ball gowny.
And Fadia, round us out.
So Fadia, she's actually, the only times we've seen her like in her archaeology look, and then she wore the pinstripe suit. So she's going to come out, and she's actually looks quite different than what you might imagine her being. So she's pretty barren at like her like top. She has a beautiful navy colored, very slight ball gown skirt, so it's not super puffy, but it has the navy colored satin dress, but then the twill that's very glittery up kind of in beautiful chiffon layers, has a slit up the side of it, and it's this beautiful square necked bodice with very thin straps that go behind her and do this like crisscross corset down the back. And the bodice has like, almost looks like curling roots of these beautiful silver sequins and gems that start very coiled and almost look like her bodice is completely glittery, and then they kind of, the roots almost like start reaching out down the dress in very singular little like trains. So it starts pulling down the bodice into the dress. The navy chiffon is very glittery, and then the sequining on the bodice is very glittery and just has these long golden, almost like look like chainmail earrings that kind of come down her hair, and she has her hair very curled, so it's a bit up and tight, but it looks very curled up there. And then she just doesn't have anything on her like jewelry wise, but she just has, it almost looks like she's wearing like that highlighter, but it's just her skin is glowing. She's kind of having this outward radiance, and she's kind of actually letting herself shine, and she's kind of looking very much like a star in the night sky. And so that's what she comes out wearing.
Beautiful. Out of those who are attending as well, the vizier is dressed in his formal best, which is long flowing robes of red and black that looks quite sinister, his hood almost like a cobra hood overhead. Meanwhile, Lady Lars Argsiegel of Embries is there, as well as Horatio the dog, who is in a large, kind of like one of those like Shakespearean accordion collars on the dog. Looks quite dashing. Lady Lars, of course, has a puffed sleeved outfit as well that is kind of a unisex, almost like a riding outfit. Tall boots, very kind of gender neutral, but accentuates the curves of her hips, her thin waist, and her modest upper proportions. What is not modest, however, is the Sultana, who wears what could, well, generously be considered a bikini underneath flowing, translucent fabric, enough to make an emperor blush as it kind of undulates in these waves over her bare skin that has been painted all manner of colors by handprints, dozens of them, that looks like she's painted herself. A long sweeping headdress of gold, silvers, platinums, and gems dangles from her wild hair, and you can see little bits of these gems have been stuck to her flesh in strange, vaguely arcane patterns. As well, the others that are there, Barabara and Voxalto are dressed in their military best. Gorwyn is dressed in a simple vest and collar, his fur covering most of him. And Dara, Malia's sister, is there as well in a black singlet, looking very much the opposite of her sister, although it is unplanned. You are invited to gather round to enjoy the festivities, and one by one, the guests enter. The night progresses on, and it's probably about 5 p.m. when the festivities really begin. One by one, the guests arrive, and there is a bit of a call out from the heralds at the front as you hear, "Announcing Lady Sikra of Ustral of the clan Siato." Lady Seeker, the Goliath, enters, tall and majestic, dressed in a flowing, what can almost be described as a business suit, with a flowing trained dress, strong muscular thighs sticking out from the slits on the sides. She genuflects and goes toward the food. "Announcing Lady Nazili Isbili of Alazar of the House Isbiliaco." Nazili, the Silk Woman, enters dressed in more layers than you could imagine, silks that seem to flow like a raging rapid as she moves. A veil besought with pearls dangles above her nose. Her flesh beneath almost glows in the light, that deep, rich brown color. "Announcing Janice March of the Manor Wastes." Janice is dressed quite differently than you saw him last, dressed in full robes of someone who spends much time in the desert. His outfit is not particularly fancy, although the fabrics are clean and well layered. Whites on top of strips of green and black that accentuate with a bit of a jangling bell trim along the lower bits, with curved shoes that stick out from his robe as he walks. "Announcing Camugilo, Spriggan of the Sorane." The Spriggan has no reason to dress themselves. Instead, they have flowered into a brand new bloom that surrounds their rooted and leaved visage. Now roses, lilies, lilacs, and other strange mutant flowers adorn the mantle that they wear, flowing down like bell drops to their ankles. A scent, a cloud follows with them that simultaneously turns heads and occasionally will make Gorwyn sneeze. Announcing Meryl Silvershard of Fandelia! A woman with luxurious blonde hair, curled up into tight buns at the nape of her neck, dressed in mithril mail that spreads out into a wide, voluminous skirt that jangles as she walks, will enter. She has very thick eye makeup. Almost like scene makeup, right? Thick black mascara and bright red and blue lips. Red on the top lip, blue on the bottom. As she enters, long gloves made of wrought silver adorn her arms. She looks around nervously. Announcing Ferryman O'Oxen of Emrys! The ferryman enters, dressed identically to as he was the day before. The outfit is meticulously cleaned, and as he enters, he smiles and waves as he not of Emrys, of Exelar. Thank you. Of Exelar! He admonishes the heralds. He goes,
Of Exelar, you mean?
Yes, I'm sorry, of Exelar!
That's better. Fucking Emresians.
Of which you'll see that Lairs Arxeagle does take a bit of offense as he enters. Announcing Cigaro! Diplomat of Orien! A massive tabaxi male will walk in, all chest and poise, a large sweeping hat atop of a half mask that covers some of his whiskers. A little bit of scars bisect the fur of his chin, cheek, and throat. And he smiles, a rapier dangling from his side, a roguish felt and doeskin vest dangling down to his waist, where a pair of belts dangle over his wide-set hips as he saunters into the room like a cowboy. Greetings! It is so good to meet you, he says as he walks up to you and, let's see, reaches over to Mars. A tiefling. I had not assumed that one so beautiful as you would be here. Might I have a taste?
Yes.
He will flip your wrist and give it a long, rough-tongued kiss.
Bleh.
Delicioso. I hope you don't mind.
True.
On my way here, I encountered some other guests.
Oh?
And with that, you will all hear a noise. The roof will shake slightly.
Other guests, you said?
Large wings will beat outside. And you'll hear a bit of a commotion. Several of the guards rushing around outside. The sound of something with immense beating wings and the scream that could only be described as a dragon's. There will be a bit of a commotion outside of the door. And the herald will rush back inside. Pardon the intrusion! announcing Garleon Zarnak, the Great Worm, and his consort, Faramina Hazal. And I think that's where we're going to call game for the night.
No way.
Baby girl! Baby. The second you played that wing beating noise, I was like,
Yup.
no.
Exactly what was happening.
And Fadia doesn't give any shits.
No
or
shits!
Doesn't know.
No shit's given!
Robin knows. Robin knows.
I love that I can just play sound cues and you guys will just go, oh!
Knew exactly what was happening.
All I have to do is
and
go,
I'm still
Yeah.
not ready for it.
No.
And his consort, Faramina. So.
Wow.
Girl.
I love it, I
Jason.
love it.
I'm sure there's gonna be no. This is not gonna cause any problems at all in any way, shape, or
It's not
form.
gonna problem.
Not
There's no
even
drama.
remotely.
I did not think that they were coming back this soon.
Me neither.
Whoa.
But we're having a
Oh,
little
did not expect
thing of a
them.
summit. I guess they couldn't pass the chance or something. We
Oh,
had
but
just heard news they were bugging people over in Orien, weren't they?
exactly,
Yeah.
We're on their way
Yup.
back.
exactly. They're
I
out there.
mean-
It's so good.
Oh, this is gonna be so
By the way,
fun on
Kat.
Tuesday.
Chat thinks your
Yeah.
nails are fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
thank you.
and we
They are
actually only
fire.
play on Tuesdays, exoteric
Mhm.
stratagems.
Good name, by the way. So folks, this was a special game tonight because I was ill last Tuesday. Oh, thanks for the bits. If you want to find out what happens next, be here next Tuesday night, this coming Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific when we resume. Also, you can also find all of our back episodes on YouTube, of course. And we will be back here on Sunday with episode 3 of Dreams of Arcos. Which is going so well, folks. It's yeah. Everybody follow the damn Discord. Go to the Discord.
I'm so happy that we are playing on Tuesday.
Oh, I know. That's why I was like, you guys understand why I was like, oh, I can't run without everybody. I can't run. I can't like Winter. You were like, oh, can you run without me because I have Barbie tickets? And I'm like, no, not with the ending. You'll kill me. You'll stab me. Like.
Kelly!
Kelly, why? Kelly, why?
Because
No.
Screaming internally.
right.
We're all
Fadia-
screaming
right.
internally.
Fadia doesn't matter. She might recognize the name Farah, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mentioned it enough, but it's like
Yeah.
Well,
this is the person who you. Yeah.
Replace.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Baby girl's gonna hate me. Baby girl's gonna fireball me.
well, I mean, like when Fadia and Asen were in the room, like
Mm-hmm.
finding outfits and stuff. If Farah came up, and Fadia saw like a very
Oh, I think
strong
Fadia knows.
reaction.
Fadia knows her reaction from you guys,
Oh.
but Fadia's never actually met her. So
Yeah.
this is like I know you're a big deal, but I don't know exactly how to react.
Right.
to
Hello,
you quite
Raiders.
yet.
Raiders, you just came in at the end of a big cliffhanger reveal. We were actually just about to go raid you in a second. But stick around. We'll keep the raid flowing to somebody else. So folks, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope players, you enjoyed it. It's we're getting toward the end of the Rotranon section of the Orkesh arc, and we'll be getting back to Orkesh in a game or two. But I definitely want to resolve the things here, and we got some fun there. Oh god, I have to do so many frickin' voices next episode.
Yeah, you do.
So
Prepare.
yeah, right. Oh boy, I have to remember what Garleon sounds like. I think it was a bit
An
sexy.
asshole.
I love that everybody likes him but you because he stole your girl.
Garleon sounds like an asshole.
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Yeah. See, I personally love Garleon. Tia thinks he's pretty. He, for the most part, at least, or the interactions they've had were pretty decent. In Valmar,
But
but
say Jeroen thinks he's great.
yeah, like he kind of came in clutch when we needed it. Like,
Right?
I mean, and then they left, which was terrible. And now
Asen,
with all this drama.
Asen hasn't gotten over it at all.
This is gonna be
Just shoving that like unresolved emotions deeper and deeper every time something comes up, and pretend it never existed. Just shove it down, put a lid on it, stomp on it.
It
so good.
definitely isn't as if Asen dropped the L word the last time her and Farah spoke, right? Definitely not like that happened. Although she was back then.
Yeah, I think that like a 13,000-year-old shape-shifting dragon is probably Pan, so you might be okay.
I
But anyway,
remember
we
just
will-
like standing up for her decision when she was leaving.
I know it's gonna be
And
awkward.
Malia and Mars going to a big tiff.
Yeah.
It's been an entire season in the works, folks.
Yep.
So for
And then
those who
there's
don't,
Tia, who is just like a mix of like.
right, folks, I hope you come and join us for that. It's going to be a fantastic time. That's next
Please do.
Tuesday. A big thank you, of course, to all of our patrons over on patreon.com/dorktales, which start with our divine producer, who's my mom, which... Hi, Mom! To our demonic producer, Precarious. Hey, Breck, how's it going? Go follow Breck and the games that he runs. He's a great guy on twitch.tv/Precarious. Thank you to our wizards of the Patreon who are magical and make magic happen. Those would be Tammy the Forever Cleric, the Ink Goblin, and Eddie Isaacs. And to our High Council of the Patreon, praise be unto you, Taryn, Buddy, Amberthist, Cubby Gummy, Raven with Baubles, Karasha Urquhart, Chef Eladeth, Larouk, Sorcerer Sanguine, Mike Baxter, and Kaylin Whitebeard. Also, a big thank you to our sponsor for tonight, Bookwyrm Games. Go to bookwyrmgames.com, use code DorkTales to save 10% on your order, and just do it. They're great. They're great. They're great dice, great people. So with that, we will see you very shortly. Hope you all come back for our next homebrew game, which is on Sunday, and that is Dreams of Arcos. And it's going real well so far. Join them as we have another social game as they go to a wedding, and nothing bad will happen.
Never.
Never.
Never. Good night, everybody.